History was made. We are live, man. Bigger than WrestleMania. The biggest pay-per-view of the entire year, the biggest pay-per-view of the decade. Tony Khan delivered. Minoru Suzuki, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, and the return of CM Punk after 7.5 years. What have I told you guys from the very beginning? After year one, they're not going to be the same. After year two, they're pretty much untouchable. Tony Khan makes history. Jesse and I are going to talk about it because we were there live. The venue is open for happy hour. Let's do it. This is your All Out post show right here on Off the Screen. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW All Out post show for Labor Day, September 6th, 2021. I am JD from New York, and I'm joined by my roommate for the last 2 days and my partner in crime here for AEW, Jesse. What is going on, man? Listen, I know you and I are both mentally drained, bro, but What did I tell you, man? For the last 2 years, you and I have been saying it on the show. The winds of change, they're being felt more and more every single week. My God, man, inside that Now Arena, it was a fucking hurricane, man. After year one, AEW didn't look the same. After year two, they are pretty much looking at the best roster in pro wrestling that you could possibly ever assemble. And elite, man, I think that's a fucking understatement for this roster and this company right now, man. They are the hottest thing, and I'm so happy to be part of this journey, man. We were there live. It was incredible.
It was. I mean, well, I'm hearing myself. There we go. Hold on. There we go. How's that? That sound good?
Yeah, you sound good, man.
All right. It was an amazing experience, man. I don't know how to put it in words. You know, when they started this company, you know, a couple of years ago, one of the first things they kept saying over and over is how they planned on changing the world, you know. And obviously they were referring to the wrestling world, and they did. They revolutionized pro wrestling as we know it, not just by their signings and what they're doing, but the relationship they have formed with other wrestling promotions.
Yep.
You know, it's become a unified community for the first time ever. This has never happened before. It's never been an issue where it's one company is willing to work and pass talent back and forth and to help get other companies over like this. And the recent acquisitions that AEW has just brought on, it is kind of brought to fruition what everybody has been saying for months upon months upon months. And I think last night was the culmination of it. AEW is here to take over entirely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see. I was, again, very fortunate enough to be a part of the post-show scrum. And I said the same thing I said when I attended the first one that I've ever done at Double or Nothing. And I wish you could have been there with me. I know the situation with family the first time around, and then this time around, AEW was not giving out enough press passes. There was only so many to go around. But the energy that was there inside the post-show scrum, and again, seeing Tony Khan, you know, I can't really speak highly of Tony than I have already, you know, done so in the past. But, you know, to see him, and the more I do these things, I'm probably going to talk about it every single time. This is a man that has genuinely cared from day one, and somehow he's gotten better at everything that he's done tenfold. The genuineness continues to just seep off of him, and it's very infectious. Everybody that hit that stage in the post-show scrum, bro, and I know I streamed it live for you guys last night. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I know you were watching, Jesse. The reaction and the emotion from Tony to everybody that stepped on that stage, you know, you said it a couple of shows ago, and I know you continue to say it. This is a family. This is not a business. And I know WWE is you know, Wall Street, and they're trading stocks, and, you know, there's everything with the stock, but this is a family, and it's attracting everybody like a Punk and a Bryan and a Cole because of those deep-rooted family values that they have. And to see Tony Khan just go up there and legitimately hug everybody as if they are a part of his family, it is such a beautiful thing to see. And I'm so glad that we've been on this road since day one. I've never missed a Dynamite. I don't plan on missing a Dynamite. I've ordered every pay-per-view that they've ever done, and I have no regrets about supporting this company because of the product that they continue to churn out and the manner that they do it. This was a bigger show than WrestleMania. I don't give a shit if, I mean, CM Punk said some shit last night, and he said, he had the same attitude. I don't give a fuck what you say. This may get me in trouble with some people. I don't give a shit. This was a bigger show than WrestleMania. This was the best pay-per-view probably that they've ever done, and I've said that on more than one occasion with these guys. This was bigger than Mania. This was the biggest show of the year. This may have been the biggest show of the last 20 years. And Tony Khan, I mean, I wanted to ask him so badly last night, how the fuck do you wake up in the morning knowing that you have to book another Dynamite and another, 12 Dynamites before we get to full gear? How do you top yourself? What is the mentality that goes through this man's head to wake up the next morning after doing something like this and say, we just had this show. What the fuck am I going to do now? And you know what, Jesse? He continues to just prove us all wrong. Like, it's amazing how this man is working.
Bro, at this point, the way the roster, the way they have it situated right now, I can easily outbook last night. You know how? I can put all of the names in a fucking hat and have the talent draw names out of the hat and make that the card, and it'll be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The roster is, we've said for years how WWE had the most talented roster than anywhere else on the planet. They just aren't using it correctly. They don't even have that anymore. They do not have them, and they still have a plethora of ridiculously great talent in WWE. But with that being said, it's not better than AEW's talent roster right now. And at this point, it's only going to get better because now, I have to find out where to put Daniel Bryan who to put at Daniel Bryan with in the match. Oh yeah, Adam Cole too. Don't forget Ruby Soho. Oh, that's right. Got to book CM Punk. Hey, you know Bray Wyatt's still coming in. It's all.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with
What
am I gonna do with Andrade? Oh my God, man!
Yeah.
What a dilemma that. What am I gonna do with Malachi Black?
Oh no!
What am I gonna do with MJF and Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy? I mean, bro. Even if it's so minute, I was talking to a few people last night. I said, the video game is coming out next year. This may be the biggest video game wrestling game that we've ever seen with the greatest roster ever assembled. It's things like that. Like everything that Tony Khan is doing is just absolutely strategic in every way. And a lot of people don't really pick up on that. Like all these signings are going to pay off for him 1,000 times over with the new TNT deal that they eventually signed, because he's making mega bank with that new TNT deal when it comes up. The video game, bro, he's already solidified this to be the best-selling video game of all time with everybody that he's bringing in. So please tell me how he's not doing everything right. I hate the people that fucking shit on him for no reason.
He's doing it all right. But the thing that I love is that the WWE stands, they only want to bring up money. Well, WWE makes more money. Well, WWE does this financially and this financial. Look, that's not something to gauge it on. But if you want to, fine, great. AEW is an upstart company. All right. So you start with investments. All right. You put money in and you get your money back in return later. You don't get it back in a year. You don't get it back in 2 years. You get it back over the lifetime of the product. I heard Tony Khan has put over $10 million into this video game. Is it because he's charitable? No, because he plans on making all of that back and then some and a lot more. And that's how you build a company. You invest. You set it up and the people will come. You give us a reason to show up, and that's just, goddamn it, what we're going to do. We're going to fucking show up. And as of right now, I have no reason to ever not want to attend any AEW event.
Man, I said this at the meet and greet that we conducted at Granite City Brewery, and I'll get into that, which was a very humbling and great moment with everybody that came out in Schaumburg on Saturday night. I said this, and it's funny you said that about yourself. Bro, I haven't attended a WWE show since a random show at Madison Square Garden with my best friend Pete. I don't even know how long ago that was. And I remember the main event, I believe it was Alberto Del Rio versus fucking Dolph Ziggler. I have no idea what year it was. Haven't attended a WWE. Actually, I'm lying. I went to Extreme Rules. It was Extreme Rules back in Pittsburgh when this was like several years ago with Matt from Wrestle Rumble and Brian Gulish. But I got invited to that. I would have never attended that unless those guys were there. But every AEW pay-per-view that has been on the scale of what we saw last night, I have traveled more. I have broken out of my shell over the fear of flying. I have broken out of my shell about meeting fans and meeting people and getting to do media when I know some of the people in the community hate my fucking guts and don't want to be around me or have said some nasty shit about me and vice versa. I have broken out of my shell and have gotten into these situations all because of AEW. And I don't think I've been to as many WWE shows in my entire 39 years on this planet than I have an AEW show. Like, I've attended AEW shows yearly, and I don't see that stopping because of the product that they're churning out. When people love something, they will watch. When people love something, they will go and willingly spend as much money as they possibly can on the product because it is quality. I spoke to Tony Khan. The last question I got in at the post-show scrum that you guys were watching live, I had to get it in. I could have sat there and asked him a dozen questions, but it's so tough to get a question in. I said, do you feel, and what do you feel yourself mentally, and just what do you see about the whole mindset of the fan? Now, I know social media is a little bit of it. It's not the grand scheme of things. Do you see it? And if you do, what do you feel about it mentally with the whole landscape of professional wrestling changing for, Bryan to come in and say, I'm here because pro wrestling. CM Punk, I am here because pro wrestling. Adam Cole here, obviously, to be a pro wrestler. With all that's, being said there, do you feel it? And how does that make you feel that the fans are now shifting the guard towards pro wrestling and less about sports entertainment? He looked me in the face, and I hope he knows who I am after so many of these things. He looked me in the face and he said, that's me. I'm the change. So he's not very shy about admitting it. I'm changing the game. And he knows it. He knows it. And I wanted to see that. That was the exact reaction I was looking for. And I'm glad I asked that question. Everybody is feeling it. Pro wrestling, man, is fucking back. It's a beautiful thing.
and I'm gonna steal Punk's term here. It's a perfect storm because with WWE slowly changing what they used to give us, over the last 15 to 20 years, I would say. I mean, if you think about WWE 20 years ago versus what's on TV right now, not the same thing.
No.
And it was not an overnight thing. It has slowly, progressively gotten to where we are today, and it drove a lot of fans away. Now, you had that. And the next part of the storm comes in is you have the Young Bucks, and you have Cody, and you have Kenny, and they all have the eyes and ears of all the lapsed real pro wrestling fans. But they don't have the money to do what they need to do. That's part 2 of the storm. Part 3 of the storm is we have Tony Khan. Tony Khan has the connections, he has the backing, he has the family, and he has the money. But he can't just build a pro wrestling company without talent. He has to go out and get talent, and not just talent, but talent that the people will follow to the bitter end. And it all happened. He got the Bucks, he's got the Elite, he's got Cody, he's got Kenny. They have a fan base. They just need somewhere to do what they do. And Tony Khan provided them somewhere to do what they do, and we followed. Then the other big stars saw what kind of family this was, and they want to join. When we say AEW is family and WWE is not, they're a business. I don't want that to get misconstrued with people saying, well, you have to be a business to make money. AEW is a fucking business, big business.
Yes.
But it's not about WWE being the business and the talent just being a tool in the business. With Tony Khan, it's AEW and his family being a business against the businesses, taking in the money and getting the sponsors and being a business as if they look out for the family. They don't look out for the WWE company and forget the talent. No, talent is included when we're discussing business and family. So that's what we mean about family. Tony Khan I can't remember one person that's been fired from AEW other than maybe what's his name that got caught up in the speaking out, but I don't even know if he was signed.
Jimmy Havoc.
Jimmy Havoc. I'm not even sure if he was signed. Whether he was or he wasn't, nonetheless, there was a tangible reason why that happened. If Tony Khan signs you, he has faith in you, and he's going to sign you and keep you for the length of your deal, period. And he's not going to fire you for something ridiculous. He brought you in your family. You choose to leave, you can leave. You choose if your performance was well, he'll re-sign you. If not, you can part ways amicably. But it's a family still. That's all we want. We don't want to fall in love with somebody for the next 5-6 years and then watch them treated like shit and shipped off at the end of it.
It's amazing. One of the things that I took away from a lot that happened at All Out, a lot of people, even before All Out, because everybody mentioned him regardless, and he's a big proponent as to why they're there. I don't think a lot of people are really putting the pieces together with Brody Lee. And God rest his soul, man, how influential that man was to everybody while he was here on this earth, and how even more influential he is to AEW since he's been gone, bro. I can't imagine what everybody felt like when he passed, but with everybody mentioning his name after the fact as one of the primary reasons why they came to AEW, and the way AEW handled it and the way that they memorialized him on that special episode of Dynamite, he's more valuable to them now with him not being here, and he's such an influential figure, not being here, than he ever has been in his entire life, and he's pretty much one of the driving forces to where AEW is right now. Everybody from Punk, and Bryan mentioned it as well in his post-show interview after the show went off the air, everybody is here because of how the AEW handled the whole Brody Lee situation and what they did for him. It's amazing, and it goes toe and toe with what you said about family. It's incredible.
It is. It does. It solidifies what everybody is saying about it being a family. They treated that tragedy like a family issue. It was a family problem, and it wasn't made public until Brody's family said so. It wasn't leaked to Meltzer, Alvarez, anyone else. It was in family, and that resonated huge with Punk. He's mentioned that many a times, and I'm glad that they're bringing up Brody, because he needs to be the absolute cornerstone in this eventual overall story that comes out of AEW becoming what it is. when we say all the time, he won't be forgotten. I hope it goes down that way. He will never be forgotten. And his passing brought us all together. We get to grieve together as a family. We get to try to rebuild and move on, but we never forgot. And every time a bigger star comes in, they pay respect to Brody Lee. And, you know, it's amazing. I'm so happy that he won't be forgotten in that aspect.
It's going to be an amazing ride, man. This is going to be awesome. And I have a huge fucking spider walking along the wall in the Airbnb right now, which I'm not going to pay attention to. I'll try to. It's fucking huge. Jesus Christ. Anyway, never mind my arachnophobia. Actually, you know what? I have to do something. Give me a second. This is fucking...
I found two. There was one in the kitchen. There was one in one of the other bedrooms.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Give me a second. Oh my God, goodbye.
It's huge.
Deleted. I would not give you guys a quality show if that thing was fucking crawling along the desk. I'm sorry. Anyway, listen, it's been a great time in Chicago. I'm going to be here for a little bit longer. Jesse, we had a meet and greet on Saturday at the Granite City Brewery, and I'm glad that you were there to take it all in. Some of the Off the Script team was there as well. I want to thank first and foremost Richard from the Granite City Brewery. He was absolutely as hospitable as anybody I have ever dealt with as far as these things are concerned. He took great care of Jesse and I all night. He took great care of the OTS family. And I think if AEW ever does any more shows in the greater Chicago area, especially Schaumburg, that's going to be the home of the Off the Script VIP meetups, man. This was such a humbling experience. I want to thank everybody that came out. I'm terrible with names, but there was at least 70 plus there, bro. 70
yeah, there
plus.
was a lot. Also Stefan from Stefan, sorry, from Granite City. He's the general manager, I believe. We saw him the next day at breakfast, and he was the one who gave Richard the green light to give us all of the hospitality that he gave us. He's also a huge fan of the product and Off the Script.
That's great. It's going to be something that we definitely revisit if AEW does come back to Schaumburg. But I want to thank Richard personally. I know he'll eventually catch up with this when he can. And I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for everything. That vanilla porter was delicious. I had people buying me drink. Gary in the chat. He's usually here in the chat. He bought me a double shot of Jaeger. I haven't drank Jaeger in 20 years. So it was crazy. Issa came out. Matt from Wrestle Rumble came out. It was an incredible time. I thank them both for coming out. Us New York City content creators may be planning something for AEW Grand Slam in Queens. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. I just got a text from Issa about 10 minutes ago. So I will let you guys know about that. But thank you all for coming out. And hopefully it is not the last time in Schaumburg, because I do very much so enjoy Schaumburg, and it is a great little town. Jesse, we're going to go.
He's like so shit-faced at the karaoke bar.
Oh, yeah, well. I mean, I was shit-faced. I woke up with a fucking hangover. Yeah. I mean, those Jack and Cokes were not anything to laugh at. They were pretty potent, man. Listen, there's nothing a 3-hour nap can't fix, but it was great, and I thank you guys very much. So we are going to go over the show, guys. I got all the news and notes from the post-show scrum. I got all the news and notes from the actual show. Jesse and I were there. We're going to give you the live first-hand experience, but I want to thank you guys for showing up big time on your Labor Days. Happy Labor Day, whatever you guys are doing, barbecuing, hanging out by the pool, whatever you guys are doing to celebrate the end of the summer unofficially. Jesse, you got any plans today? What are you doing, barbecuing?
Man, I got my kids coming back from grandma's house in about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to see how their weekend went, say hello to them, and I'm going to bed for a couple of hours.
There you go, man. I'm going mini golfing after the show is over.
No way. I got to recover.
Anyway, we're going to go over everything, guys. 3,600 large in the chat. I appreciate you on this Labor Day. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 2,000, man. Anything under 2,000, I'm not going to be a happy camper. There's 3,600 people in here. There should be at least 2,000 right here inside the OTS venue for this All Outs post-show. Super chats are open. We have several to go over already, so continue to get them on in. If you guys want to chat with Jesse and I at the end of the show, should be good. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to follow Jesse, you see his @ right there on the screen as well. Make sure you guys, again, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the bell for notifications. If you guys want to go get your t-shirts, that is bonfire.com. They are now partnered with YouTube. All you guys have to do is click the actual shirt that you want to purchase underneath the video player right now, and it will take you right to the Bonfire websites. Boom, 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 1, 2, 3. Very easy. And Bonfire has excellent quality. That's bonfire.com. Make sure you guys go check out all the other videos that you might have missed over the weekend. I know it's been a busy weekend, but Off the Script was still uploaded on Saturday. Episode 389, we talk about Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon being in charge of NXT and how all the reports that say Triple H is still in charge are complete bullshit. So make sure you guys go into that rant. It is quite the listen. So make sure you guys go and do that for me. And I will be live tonight as well watching Monday Night Raw. I may be the only one watching because I think after last night, Jesse, I think a lot of people are going to be giving up on WWE, and I'll be the only one watching, and people will be watching me recap what is a terrible program.
I'm done. I mean, you know, it's funny. You know, for many years, you know, people in WWE, I specifically remember Triple H saying this, but many have. I don't want to put it all on him. If you dislike the product so much, why do you keep watching? Well, for years, there's no other wrestling on TV. You got to go above and beyond and try to find wrestling somewhere else, get reinvested in it, and then you got to be able to follow the storylines. And it's hard to do when you don't have a reoccurring show for the product. Well, now I want to bring that back up. If you don't like the product, then why don't you quit watching? Okay. Yeah. I will. I mean,
there's no reason. There's no reason to watch now after last night. I mean, there was no reason to watch before last night, but now after last night, it's pretty much, you know what? I think I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. Why? Let's put our cards on the table and be real here. There is too much wrestling on TV right now. There's too much. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fucking Friday, every other fucking Sunday. There's too much. So if I cut WWE out of my fucking wrestling diet, I have just enough wrestling on TV every Wednesdays and fucking Fridays. Perfect.
Guys, if you want to know what Monday Night Raw and Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are doing to combat last night, we have Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax round 2 tonight.
Fuck that, dude.
There you go.
Oh, that sounds like a brawl for all match. I'm kind of interested in that, to be honest. But
whatever.
Other than that, I don't want to see it. I'm sick of the rematches. I'm sick of the moist drip shit. I'm sick of it all. Anybody in WWE that I actually care about as far as a pro wrestler, I would rather wait for them to have their contract in and show up in AEW.
Yeah. And it's after last night, I mean, we got the biggest names possible right now. And, bro, they ain't done. They are not done by a long shot. So.
Nope.
Anyway, guys, we're going to go over the show. I appreciate you. Let's get into it. 3,700 in here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. We're going to start at the top, Jesse, because we had a pre-show, which I was not really all that interested in. We had a 10-man tag, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler, Utah, and Jurassic Express versus the Hardy Family Office, Matt Hardy, Private Party, and the Hybrid 2. So what'd you think of this match, man? I mean, I say it every time. You know, the Hardy Family Office is just not doing it for me. I don't really feel like Private Party is any better than what they were before Matt Hardy. I'm sure Matt Hardy's a great influence on them. I love Matt Hardy, very respected in my household, but I don't feel like Private Party is any better than what they were. And the Hybrid Men, they really are lukewarm. There's really nothing going on with them. Is Matt Hardy having an influence on these guys on TV to a point where you can say, hey, they're a lot better off than what they were?
I think for right now, and this is just my guess, I think the HFO stuff is just right now. It's something for these guys to do, because it's easy to fall back on this one. You can't high profile everyone at the same time. Everyone needs something to do, but you can't get into deep storylines and deep pushes for everyone. There's only one set of tag team titles. There's only one world title. There's only one TV title. Kenny Omega is on a mega push. Miro is on a mega push. The tag team titles, we'll get into that a little bit later. But I think there'll be a time and a place for everyone. And I think Private Party is no different. They can continue along with this Matt Hardy stuff for a while, and they can turn super babyface and go back and then make it back on the Dynamite and be big. I think this match was just about pro wrestling itself and to get in the Chicago crowd hype and ready and just ready for for some action. So we get to get Jungle Boy in the ring. Fuck that guy. With Luchasaurus, they're both completely over as hell right now. So I think the match did what it was supposed to do. Let's get us ready. We had no dark matches before. It was like, we're live. Let's get some pro wrestling. And they did that, and it was fantastic, man. It was such a good wrestling match. But like you said, there was no interest in the story behind it.
No.
There was none. And because I'm with you, I'm not into this FHO stuff. But I love Matt Hardy. I love Private Party. I'm liking TH2. They need more to do, but I like them. But it was just about the pro wrestling, and that's what they did.
Yeah, the biggest thing that happened in this match, and I know you are a big fan of them, Jesse, very big fan. The Butcher made his return to join the Hardy family office by attacking Orange Cassidy after the match, after Jungle Boy made the tap outs. I believe it was on Angelico. And the Butcher made his return. He attacked Orange Cassidy, the Varsity Blondes, Dante Martin of Top Flight, members of the Dark Order, and other baby faces ran out there to clear the ring of the heels before Evans could cut Cassidy's hair off, apparently. So the Butcher is back, Jesse, with the Blade, and I honestly think this is a great move for the Blade. I think he was kind of in a little ruts. We've seen too much of the Bunny, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm more of... Yeah. A fan of her when she's, valeting and managing. I'm not really a big Bunny in-ring guy, but as far as the Butcher, he looked fantastic, number one. And number two, this is a solid fucking tag team that was just hitting their stride before he actually got hurt. And the fact that he is now back, Jesse, I mean, it does a couple of things. Number one, Blade is much better off for it. Number two, AEW picks up another solid tag team. And I want to see these guys continue to move up the ranks because I think they are a very viable option in that tag team division.
You nailed all of that shit. You nailed all of that shit. Blade was floundering. Mm-hmm. Bunny was spending too much time in the wrestling matches. We need the Butcher back. We need the Butcher and Blade back, and we need Bunny as a valet. And we got Perfection and another tag team right there. Yeah. I loved it. I think I'm one of the very few people that popped for it. I couldn't tell how the pop went for it, but I fucking marked out when I saw Butcher back because I knew we had a dominant heel tag team right there.
Yeah, he looked fantastic. I'm glad he's back. Another thing I wanted to make mention of, because it's in my notes here, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, though on the pre-show, they played a very pivotal role in Daniel Bryan coming out. When the show went off the air, I uploaded some of the clip for everybody to see on my Twitter page. Daniel Bryan was in the ring with Christian after he lost to Kenny Omega. Bryan made his return, and all the heels, bounced out of the ring, and Bryan was there to just intimately talk to the crowd about why he was there, and he gave the reasons why he's back in AEW instead of going back to the WWE. Jesse, I know you were there listening to that. The two men that were in the ring, and I don't know if people are making this a big deal or not, but I'm making it a big deal because any other two guys on the roster could have been in that spot, but it's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. We all know Tony Khan absolutely loves Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express. But Daniel Bryan, being that he's in AEW, one of the first people that he puts over is that fucking guy right there standing next to him, and it's Jungle Boy. Man, how incredible right now of a ride is this for Jungle Boy that not only is I'm going to say it, the best promoter in all of pro wrestling right now, Tony Khan, leading AEW, high on his list of priorities. And then you got fucking Daniel Bryan coming on in. Bro, everybody coming on into this company, who was one of the first people that they mentioned that they want to wrestle? Punk. Cole said it at the post-show scrum. Bryan. Jungle Boy Jack Perry, bro. How does that that make that man feel?
And this is what they're doing. Punk came in, and one of the first words out of his mouth were Britt Baker.
Yeah.
And then when they got into business, Darby Allin. Bryan, I'm calling him Bryan now. I'm just going to say Bryan. Because when you say Daniel Bryan, you're pissing off people in the chat. And I'm still not used to Bryan Danielson, but his name is Bryan. So I'm just going to call him fucking Bryan. Yep. So Bryan came out last night. He was funny. He said Punk, came in here wanting to work with the young guys and help move them up and everything else. I think Bryan said, fuck that. I'm here to kick their asses, man.
Yeah, he's like, Punk can put over the young talent. I'm here to fucking kick their teeth down their throat. I don't give a shit.
And that's just how he said it. He said, I'm here to fucking beat the shit out of him. That's what he said. But in all seriousness, he made a good point. He said he came in while everything was hot and scorching. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. But the people that were here from day one and laid the path and made it somewhere for people like Punk and Bryan and Cole to want to come to, then people like Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and the other day one guys, they deserve the fucking credit because they were here working through a fucking pandemic. They were here fucking bumping and taking fucking all kinds of major fucking spots on pay-per-views, trying to get fans back interested. And not only did they do that, they got other wrestlers interested. And look at our roster right now. If it had not been for the work for the day one guys, nobody would be interested in the product because they would have been tired of it by now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to see with Bryan coming on in and he's putting over Jungle Boy. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, who is better than Jungle Boy right now?
Man, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I know. Fuck that guy, man. It's crazy. He's on top of the world right now. But, I mean, that was a great moment, and I just wanted to throw that in there because that's something that you guys did not see when the show went off the air. The main card started, Jesse. We got the TNT Championship match. This was Miro versus Eddie Kingston, the Redeemer. And then Eddie Kingston wanted to redeem these nuts, which, by the way, he's got his T-shirt, which I knew was going to happen in a short span of 48 hours. I don't know if there's going to be an actual T-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees. I won't be surprised if it is, but he does have his Redeem These Nuts T-shirt.
I need it.
I think everybody needs it, but
I need it.
This was one of the matches I was looking forward to because I'm a big Kingston guy. I think he brings a nice little sense of legitimacy because of the way he verbalizes things and he makes things feel important with his with the power of his voice, and that's a very difficult thing to do. And a lot of people latch on to that. Miro, listen, man, I don't know how, and I question myself every fucking time with this. I don't know how Vince fucked up on this guy. When you look at somebody and anybody in professional wrestling right now that's being booked absolutely as perfect as you could possibly be with zero blemish to what's going on, bro, it's got to be Miro. This guy is absolutely fucking perfect in every way. His sense of intensity, his legitimacy, the fact that he's the TNT champion, and he doesn't even have his flexible wife with him yet, which I'm assuming we will see eventually. But I mean, who's better than Miro right now in what's going on right now with AEW TV? This guy is perfect.
He's killing it. He's killing it, and it's amazing. I remember when he started, and we were shitting on him. We did not like how and I still don't like how they debuted him. It didn't make sense. It's not like the way they debuted him led to what we have now. I mean, it was still a botched debut, but he did turn it around, and he's a killer, and he's booked exactly the way he should be booked right now. I would have liked to see him get a little bit more heat from the crowd. He did get some, but I would like to see a little bit more, and he'll get there. He'll get there, and I think CJ will help get him there too. I was highly expecting CJ to come in and help him win last night.
Yeah, I was actually looking for. It's funny you said that. I was looking forward to seeing that too. I actually thought it was going to happen at one or two different points in the match where she was just going to come out and maybe interfere. A rake of the eye leads to a nice Moxley kick and a game over. But we didn't see it. Maybe they're saving her for something else. It would have absolutely gotten lost in the shuffle last night.
It would have, and I want to make sure I make this clear on how much, because Eddie Kingston is a hardcore New York guy through and through, all about New York. This guy's over as fuck in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, he's
over as fuck, man.
Yeah, he's incredible. The one thing I liked about Miro in the entrance, I don't know if you picked up on this, he goes to the second turnbuckle as he's making his way into the ring, and he almost gets onto the second turnbuckle, and it's like he's offering up the TNT championship to his god. I mean, I thought that was an incredible visual. So shout out to Miro for that. That was a nice little touch there.
So good. It's so good.
But Kingston started out with some chops. You know, Kingston said he's going to go for the DDT. He's going to go for the Saito suplex. He's going to go for the Exploder suplex. And he did all that. But it was not enough to take down Miro, and rightfully so. This was the right outcome. Miro wins, retains the championship. Kingston started out with some chops to the chest and an Exploder suplex. And then we go to the outside where things picked up a little bit. Kingston went for a crossbody, but Miro countered into a power slam on the floor that looked absolutely fucking brutal. Miro followed up by ramming Kingston's back into the ring post, which looked like it sucked. He continued to dominate for a couple of minutes. Kingston tried to fight back. Lots of chops coming from Eddie Kingston. He does have a good knife-edge chop. I think he relied on it a little bit too much. He did a Pele kick to the side of the head, Saito suplex. Then both men were trading forearms, the boo and yeah spot in the middle of the ring. And then Kingston hit two consecutive Saito suplexes, went to a pin attempt, only got a 2 count. Kingston then tried for a spinning back fist, but Miro slid out of the ring. So Miro was definitely someone who had Kingston scouted here. Then Kingston hit an elbow suicida through the ropes. Kingston hit a fisherman suplex, a.k.a. perfect plex, which looked great. That got him a 2 count. Miro kicked out. Miro came back with a German suplex, and Kingston pulled off the turnbuckle pad in the process while he was in the corner fighting with Miro. So Miro hit Kingston with a kick to the face, and then he locked in the game over submission, but Kingston made it to the bottom rope, which was a great spot. I think everybody popped for that in the Now Arena. They really got behind Kingston wanting to win, and I'm looking around the arena. I'm like, yeah, it was a good spot, but I don't know what you guys are getting excited about. So Kingston,
we wanted to see him pull it off.
I know, but I mean, they have to know that it's not the right time. Kingston hit the spinning back fist and DDT, but referee Bryce Remsburg was slow to get the count. Jesse, he seen the turnbuckle pad was off, and this guy opts in this section of the match to go try and put the turnbuckle pad on. There was a legitimate 2-second delay here. He goes to make the cover, and then it was not enough for Kingston to get the title and the pinfall. Miro kicked out. Now, I don't know what you thought about this ending here. I don't like the way AEW makes their referees look like geeks. I mean, this was completely unnecessary. Why would he go and do that in the middle of a championship match on the open of the biggest show that they've put on to go fix a fucking turnbuckle pad? I don't appreciate the way AEW treats their referees like geeks, and I honestly think it takes a little bit of the believability out of the match.
I mean, if you're going to look at it, that way, as far as looking at it through realistic glasses, yeah, that kind of makes no sense. But if you look at it through it, and this is one of those times where, you're supposed to suspend your disbeliefs. It's just that, certain other companies want us to do that for everything all the time. And in this one, I like how the referee ended up taking the heat for that. That ref was getting fucking...
Oh, he was getting booed out of the building, yeah.
He was getting fucking, they were about to kill him, so it was fucking great. They put it on the ref, and I thought it was an awesome spot. I mean, I know, Vince doesn't like anyone but the talent getting themselves over, not the ring announcer, especially not the refs. But I like it when the refs occasionally get involved in the story of the overall match. And this is one of those cases. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it did play well. I mean, it looked a little goofy, but it did play well into the ending because Kingston tried to ram Miro into the exposed turnbuckle because Remsburg did not get the turnbuckle pad on. Referee stopped him, got in between them, and then Miro hit a mule kick right in between the legs of Kingston. Low blow, and that was pretty much it. Kick to the face, and then a pin, and he retained the championship. Miro is still the TNT champion. Jesse, he's not losing that championship anytime soon at all. And with all the new coming talent coming on into the company, there's no shortage of opponents for Miro. So, I mean, he's pretty set up, and I would love to see a bigger name challenge for that TNT title. But as far as right now is concerned, I don't see him losing at all.
And that's the thing. I don't see him losing it. And if he doesn't lose it for a while, great. But what if he does? Am I angry?
No.
Probably no, because whoever he would lose it to, I mean, this is how great Miro has been. He's already put a lot of credibility and stock into that title. So if he lost it this Wednesday, whoever won it is getting a lot of rub. I mean, this guy's been unfucking defeated already.
Yeah.
I mean, he could go on for another half year with that title and you wouldn't hear shit from anyone.
No.
Well, if he lost it this week to a big name, maybe if he lost the title to Daniel Bryan Wednesday, who would complain?
Nobody.
But if he kept it for another half year or so, nobody would complain. As long as it goes to someone who's also white hot. Miro is white hot. As long as it goes to someone else who's also white hot, I see it as a relay race. You have a relay team. One person does the lap. And then when it's time for the next person to start their leg of the race, they're already starting to run. And then you hand off the title to the next one and let them keep running. You got to start running first. You got to also be white hot. You can't go and hand off that fucking title who's someone just standing there in one place and don't know where to go. Get them some momentum and keep carrying on the momentum of that title, and we'll be fine with it. Miro has done a fantastic job, and whoever he drops it to at this point with this roster, nobody will complain.
No, and the longer he holds it, the more prestigious the belt is, and the more over he is as far as an unbeatable champion is concerned, and whoever beats him is going to really kind of recoup all of that. So this is a very old school mentality that Tony Khan is going for with Miro. I know a lot of us are conditioned to watch WWE, and title reigns, they last anywhere between 2-3 months, 4 months tops, and then they drop the title, unless you're Roman Reigns, of course. But the longer someone holds the championship, I enjoy that more because it means more for the champion and the championship. A lot of people don't think that way because we've been so conditioned to watch what fucking Vince McMahon does over there, and it's not really, their titles mean nothing. You see it and feel it when you watch Raw and SmackDown.
No, the champions lose every week. They win the title, then they lose in a title qualification.
Can you guys ever, can you picture Miro losing a fucking non-title match on Dynamite the way he's been booked? I mean, how ridiculous would that look?
Nope.
Come on, man.
It's just so bad. Yeah.
Anyway, Miro.
Fuck, I said Daniel Bryan. God damn it.
Hey, listen, man. You're not the Jim Ross called Ruby Soho Ruby Riot, so it's okay.
Oh, fucking Ross. Let's blame Ross.
We gotta get used to it. It's gonna come with time. Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. I was actually very surprised by this match. Now, I'll admit it. I don't watch New Japan. I had no fucking idea who Satoshi Kojima was, but everybody knows who Jon Moxley is. But the funny thing is, Jesse, Moxley right now is in. I don't want to say he's in the middle of nothing because he's one of the pivotal faces of the company with Bryan now and Punk and Darby and all the young talent that's there. But we have Jon Moxley, who is right now not really doing much of anything. He's the GCW champion. I don't know why they made that decision. We'll talk about that in a second as well. He beat Matt Cardona at their event here in Chicago over the weekend. But as far as Jon Moxley is concerned, it's almost as if Jon Moxley was asked by Tony Khan, listen, Mox, I have nothing for you at all. What do you want me to do? I want to feature you in a big thing. And Tony Khan asked Jon Moxley, who do you want to feud with? And Jon Moxley reiterated, Japan. Just feud me with New Japan. I don't give a shit. I just want to fucking fight everybody over there. That's exactly what happened. We got Satoshi Kojima, and then at the end of the show, or at the end of the match here, we got something that so many people in the community have been asking for, as Minoru Suzuki came to All Out and stood face-to-face with Jon Moxley. We're actually getting the fucking match on Wednesday, and it's got so many people already hyped up in excitement. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it appears that Moxley's in the middle of nothing because, unfortunately, we didn't get the Tanahashi match that we all fucking wanted. And everything was set up to be Moxley and Tanahashi, which could have easily stolen the show.
Yeah.
Look, they had to make some ad-libs. We didn't get the replacement that we wanted, but we did get a nice little surprise at the end. So I don't want to say like they're lost with Moxley. Like his plan was to be in the ring with Tanahashi, which would have been fantastic for anyone fucking watching. Fell through. What can you do? We know that Tony Khan has to deal with the same, shit around the world that we do today. So you can't fault him for that. But he did turn, chicken shit into chicken salad. So I can't complain.
And this match with Satoshi Kojima was exactly what you would expect. I mean, two guys that love to fight, and it was a brawl from the start of the match. It started out with Kojima hitting a shoulder block and then hitting a dive onto Moxley after Moxley rolled out of the ring. A couple of moments later, Moxley got the upper hand, hit a dive through the ropes onto Kojima. He followed up with some chops in the corner. Kojima fought back, hit what I believe is a signature with him, some machine gun chops in the corner. Crowd went crazy for that. They did a spot where Kojima was biting Jon Moxley on the top turnbuckle, and then Kojima followed up with a huge superplex on Moxley. A little bit after that, Moxley locked in a rear naked choke, followed up with a slam, cross-arm breaker. Moxley tried a paradigm shift, but Kojima countered into a brainbuster, which looked great. Went for a pinfall attempt, only got a 2 count. Moxley fought back, hit a fisherman suplex, some forearms to the chest. Kojima and Moxley both hit forearm shots, and Moxley hit a high knee to the face. Kojima hit a lariat and a Koji cutter. Was not able to make the pin on Moxley, though, after the Koji cutter. Both men traded punches and forearms. Moxley hit a clothesline into a pin attempt. Mox then locked in a bulldog choke, but Kojima got his foot on the bottom rope, and Kojima was fighting back with some big chops. Moxley with a headbutt and then a paradigm shift, which was the actual paradigm shift. I don't know what he's using as a finishing move right now, but it looks like he's altered the move somewhat. Moxley hit a second paradigm shift, which was nothing more than a double underarm suplex, and he got the win on Kojima after 2 quote-unquote paradigm shifts. So the match is exactly what it was, Jesse. Were you surprised at how good it was, not knowing much about Kojima, or was this par for the course for you?
It was par for the course. I knew nothing about Kojima. I had no idea who he was. I had no idea who Kojima was. But the match was good. I kind of took it in. I took it in as in if I was going to an indie show, And guess what? We got Moxley wrestling a match with a New Japan star at an indie show. Fuck it, let's see it, man.
Yeah.
I like pro wrestling. Let's fucking see it. So it was not a boring match. It was an awesome match. I had no investment into it because I didn't know who the guy was and I had no build, but I enjoyed myself.
And Moxley is the GCW champion. He didn't walk out with the championship last night after beating Cardona on Saturday night, which was a questionable decision to me. And I know you and I talked about this at the meet and greet, Jesse, when we did the OTS meet and greet. I don't know why Moxley was given the GCW championship in I would say a haphazard fashion. I don't know why it was, because after what I saw in Atlantic City with Nick Gage and Matt Cardona, and the fact that it was beautifully set up for a rematch and all the heat that Matt Cardona has been getting, he's been doing great work as well. Only to give the title to Jon Moxley, I don't know the reason behind that, but GCW clearly is on fire, as well as this boom in wrestling is now being seen and felt. Why do you think that they gave the title to Jon Moxley, and does it make any sense to you?
It doesn't make any sense to me. Cardona was on a fantastic fucking run with that title, man. He was pissing off every fucking GCW fan around. But things like this, though, it's kind of hard to read into it because there could be other issues. It could be a Cardona call. He may have something going on where he needed to drop the title or something. We don't know. Who knows where he may have signed where he needed to free himself up from that title. Or maybe they have other plans for Moxley and Cardona. We don't quite know just yet. And this Forbidden Door stuff has not given us any reason to negatively speculate why they do something. So no. I don't know why they did it. I would love to see, as the near future comes as to why it happened. I'm sure we'll get to it, and I'm sure it'll make sense. Because they don't just randomly bury someone who's doing such great work with a title like Cardona was.
Yeah, listen, if this leads to, and I hope this is the case, I'm not really sure what they're doing over there, but if this leads to a Cardona versus Moxley match on AEW Dynamite or something like that, I'm all for that. I think Matt Cardona, I'd love to see him on a bigger stage right now with the work that he's doing and the heat that he's getting. But as far as what I think, I hope it doesn't lead to a Moxley versus Gage match on Dynamite. I think save that for the GCW show. Obviously, GCW would be making mega bucks with Moxley in the main event over there. I think a ton of people would come out to see that. I'd love to see Cardona over in AEW doing the GCW thing, and Moxley using the Forbidden Door to wrestle Cardona on Wednesday night.
Yeah. I think Cardona has, I think more than anyone else, left WWE, went out and made a big name for himself without using AEW to an extent. I mean, he was making it big before he lost to Moxley. The way they booked him with Nick Gage and the way they did that title turn and the way that he's been living the gimmick online since he won that title, Cardona's been doing some fantastic stuff with that title.
Yeah, he's been doing great. I was always a fan of his. I don't know why they never found anything, regarding what he did to be money making. I mean, they tried to push him, and then they just completely forgot about him. I mean, it's amazing the lost talent that WWE's had, and now has gone on to do bigger and better things somewhere else. It's really sad. It's the only word I could use. It's sad to see someone like Cardona not hit the big time when we all know that he's got that he's capable of hitting the big time, and now he's doing some of the best work of his career.
Yes. Not only that, the match that he worked with Nick Gage, I mean, he worked his fucking ass off, man.
Not anybody can go in there and do that shit.
No shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing that I like about him getting his heat is he kind of won that title under almost like he's the Zack Ryder, in this hardcore company, and he still won the fucking title. But beyond all of that, he took an ass whooping from Nick Gage, man.
Yeah. After the match,
deserves that fucking title.
He did. After the Moxley match, Jesse, we got Minoru Suzuki coming out. This guy's music played. Everybody knew immediately who it was. Everyone in my section, everybody in the Now Arena stood up. Nobody was sitting down, singing along to this guy's theme music. He walked out to the ring very slowly. It was almost as if it was in a part of a fucking movie. He came out of the tunnel, and he got into the ring. Moxley had this shocked look on his face. Uh-oh, maybe I opened my mouth too big, and here's... fucking murder grandpa here, Minoru Suzuki, and we got them in the middle of the ring. He takes his jacket off, does Suzuki. They started trading punches. Suzuki hit a forearm, and Moxley hit a huge lariat. Suzuki no-sold it, And then he locked in a rear naked choke, followed by a stuff gotch pile driver on Jon Moxley. They gave this guy a warm welcome in Chicago. And we're getting the match on Wednesday, Jesse. This is going to open a lot of eyeballs. This is going to be a brutal affair. And Renee's probably having nightmares about Moxley wrestling somebody who just doesn't give a shit and will fucking hurt you because he takes great pleasure in hurting you.
And apparently, Moxley is also booked against Nick Gage for October 9th for that title.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's what someone just said in the chat.
Where is that show taking place, October 9th?
At the GCW show. Let's see, where'd it go? Yeah, it's at a GCW show, October 9th, for the title.
Maybe they don't have a location yet. Yeah, we'll see, man. That's a big deal for them.
I'll look it up right now.
That's a big deal for them. But Suzuki being in AEW just for this Forbidden Door thing, man, this is the great thing about the Forbidden Door. You don't know who's going to show up, and it's moments like that you can never really duplicate. It's such a great thing, and Tony Khan knows what he's doing with this. It's such a treat for the fans, and the fact that they're working with all these different companies as far as a wrestling fan is concerned, it's like our dream. Like it's like our own fucking fantasy video game.
There you go, New Jersey.
Really?
GCW World Championship, Mox versus Gage, Saturday, October 9th, the Showboat, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
I will, October what?
October 9th.
I will be there.
Saturday. Tickets go on sale this Friday.
I will be there. That's going to be big.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Anyway, man, what'd you think of the Suzuki run-in with Moxley? I thought it was fantastic. I loved every bit of it. Yeah,
that is cool. Now, Minoru Suzuki, I'm familiar with. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna have to watch Renee on Twitter for this one. She's gonna be cringing, man.
Yeah. What I loved about this show was the fact that everything flowed so well between the first match and all the way up into maybe the mid part of the show. And one of those things that stood out to me was the Women's Championship match between Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who is as over as fuck. I mean, it's Chicago. Everybody's over. And Kris Statlander. This was for the AEW Women's Championship. Jesse, I know you are a big fan of Kris Statlander and Britt Baker now after you and I both wasn't too big on Britt Baker. But as far as this match is concerned, this was not only Britt Baker's best championship match as champion, but this may have been her best match in AEW, period, besides the Thunder Rosa match.
Besides the Thunder Rosa match, yeah.
This was great, and Statlander deserves a lot of credit as well because she was on top of her game, minus a little mishap on a suplex attempt off the second turnbuckle middle of the match. But this was a fantastic women's championship match, and this is the type of opponent that Britt Baker needs to go and wrestle, and I loved every bit of this. I thought this was a great women's championship match for both.
Yeah, no, I disagree on the botch. You know, even if it was a botch, and maybe it was a botch, but the way it turned out is it highly showcased the strength of Kris Statlander and the balance of Britt Baker. I mean, the two of them recovered from that so perfectly, and they're always putting over how strong Kris Statlander is, so that actually played into it as well. I mean, you won't get me to talk anything bad about my favorite alien, man. I mean, she's fucking awesome. We knew she was going to lose that. I could tell by the build that she was going to lose that. But you're not done seeing Kris Statlander anywhere near that title.
No. I mean, listen, she'll get her time to shine. It's just not right now. You know, you're not gonna take down Britt Baker, and Britt Baker's got several things to take care of now. Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa is going to be in the pipeline. I mean, it's just going to be a very good run for Britt Baker with the quality of women that they're bringing into AEW. But as far as what this match was, I thought this was the best Britt Baker match since the Thunder Rosa lights out match. But Statlander got some early offense in here, and Statlander hit a back elbow mule kick from the top rope. Baker picked Statlander off the top rope and hit a fisherman neck breaker, which looked great. Baker hit a suplex and some elbow strikes in the corner, and she went for the right shoulder, wanted to wear down Statlander. Statlander fought back with some back elbows, some strikes, some chops. Statlander hit a running elbow strike and a knee in the corner. Baker came back with a sling blade, baby.
Statlander, stop the show.
Stop the show.
Get a bomb.
Stop the show. Stop the show. Let me see what's going on. Hold on.
Stop the show.
We got Abaddon's biggest fan, Steven Vandelli, with a $99.99 super chat. Vandelli, thank you, brother. I know you were very happy to see your girl Abaddon. Listen, I'll tell you what, man. I'm not a big fan of Abaddon, but she looked great last night. She looked like she's toned up and she's dropped a couple of pounds, man. She looks fantastic. I will say that.
Did she get a pop? I'm not gonna lie. I
she did get a pop.
To the washroom at the beginning of the match. It was not anything against the women's battle royal. I had an interest in it, but everything was so exciting and flowing so well. You have to find time to run to the fucking washroom or do something like that. So I took the start of the women's rumble because I wanted to be there for the end to see Ruby Soho. So I missed Abaddon in the beginning.
Yeah, she looked great, man. We'll talk about it when we get there. But Vandelli, thank you so much, brother. I will get to your super chat at the end of the show. That's a $100 bomb by Steven Vandelli, Abaddon's biggest fan in the OTS family. Thank you so much, brother.
It's Abaddon Stan.
Yes. Yeah, I hate that word Stan, but Vandelli is very genuine. He loves Abaddon. We'll talk about her in a little bit. But Miss Baker hit a sling blade, baby. So that was awesome there. That was not the only thing that she pulled out of her bag of tricks here. But Statlander came back with an inside hook Falcon Arrow into a pin attempt, which looked great. Baker fought back, also trying to get the pin after hitting a DDT. Statlander fought back with some kicks. She went for a Big Bang Theory attempt, but Baker rolled it into a pin attempt of her own. Baker then hit a flatliner into the turnbuckle. Statlander fought back and hit a superplex off the top rope that Jesse just referenced a little bit ago. It showed her strength. I don't know if it was a botch or not, but it did look impressive because Statlander muscled over Britt Baker off the top rope. Statlander tried for the Area 451 splash off the top, but Baker moved and locked in the lockjaw. Statlander rolled out of it and then slammed Baker.
Ooh, stop the show.
What happened now?
Stop the fucking show. Oh, my God.
What happened?
$100 bomb.
Another one. Jazz with a $100 super chat. Thank you, guys.
100 pounds, even more, right?
Yes. Yeah, I can't really see here on YouTube, but yes, it is. Let me see here.
100 pounds.
Hasn't even showed up in the chat yet, but thank you so much, guys. Continue to send those super chats in. That's a lot of money. Yes, Jazz with a 100 in UK. I'll second that, says Jazz.
Hey, you guys we're trying to get through a fucking show, but if you want to interrupt us with bombs like this, we will stop what the fuck we're doing.
Always.
Anytime.
Thank you guys so very much, man. I love you. We will go over literally everything after the actual review portion of the show is over. Statlander tried the Area 451 splash. Looks like she overshot it, but she missed it. Baker moved, locked in the lockjaw, but Statlander rolled out of it, slammed Baker face first. Statlander hit a scissor kick a la Booker T and got a near fall off of that. Outside the ring, Statlander tried a pendulum moonsault, but Baker moved and Statlander landed face first on the concrete outside. And then Baker hit a curb stomp on Statlander as well, followed up. Orange Cassidy was yelling at Statlander to get back in the ring, so she did. This gave Statlander a second win. She locked in a submission, but Baker broke free with some kicks. Baker shoved the referee as the referee told her to back off. She and Statlander were going at it in the corner. Statlander was in a predicament here, Jesse. We had what was called a Pittsburgh Sunrise Bay by Miss DMD. She hit
that popped the crowd.
Jesus Christ, did it fucking pop the crowd. And before the show, my boy Andrew Zarian posted a picture with no words to caption it. He posted a picture of a Panama sunrise a couple hours before the show, which got everybody talking. And here we see, Britt Baker hit a Panama sunrise of her own. So Bebe has been obviously teaching her well. It looked gorgeous. And after that, the stomp, but Statlander kicked out, which is the norm when Bebe does it. Nobody really loses to the Panama Sunrise. It's more of a setup move, which I don't understand. Baker then locked in the lockjaw to make Statlander submit, and this was a very, very good women's championship match. And Dr. Britt Baker is still hot as ever, man. Crowd loved her, and she retains the championship.
Here's what I want to reference this match to. Becky Lynch came back.
Yeah. Becky Lynchburg, you mean?
Yeah, Becky Lynchburg. She came back. She squashed the current reigning SmackDown champion in 6 seconds. We love Bianca Belair. We love Becky Lynch. We love Kris Statlander. We love Britt Baker. Britt Baker retained her match. A lot of Kris Statlander fans there, including myself. And as Britt Baker won, I was standing and applauding. Why? Because they had a phenomenal wrestling match. And the best wrestler of the evening just happened to win this wrestling match.
Yeah.
And that's all we wanted for Bianca Belair. That's all we wanted.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on it, man. I can't stand it. It's fucking awful. Bianca Belair looks like such a schmuck after all that. It's ridiculous. And then I still got people, give her time. Give what time? She lost in 26 seconds at the biggest show that they put on all year. How does that make your champion look good?
Guys, keep this in mind. When history is down the road, say a few years from now, and they go back and look at the archives and in the Dick Cock Network or whatever it is, they're not going to look at SummerSlam and then the following SmackDowns. They'll look at SummerSlam, then they'll look at maybe another pay-per-view, maybe then WrestleMania. It's not going to look back and say, oh, well, she probably got it back down the road on a different story. No, she gets squashed in 20 fucking seconds. That's what it's going to look like, period.
Yeah.
Done.
How great does Statlander look in defeat here? That's all you needed to do.
They'll look strong.
That's all you needed to do.
And it was a first loss of the year.
Yeah.
This is what they did. They built up Statlander by keeping her strong and undefeated through the year. Then they put her up against the champion, put on a fantastic match, champion wins, and Statlander is just 18-1. She's not buried. She's still there. Perfect.
Listen, they'll never get it. I'm tired of complaining about it. Baker wins. Statlander looks great. Best title defense so far for Britt Baker as champion. And I'm looking forward to seeing what DMD has in store because after the Battle Royal, we may have another barn burner of a match coming with her and Ruby Soho. So we will get into that in just a little bit. Alex Marvez interviewed Andrade El Idolo. And he questioned Andrade and Chavo about the canceled Pac flight to Chicago. Andrade said he will pay for Pac to get to Rampage on Friday where their match will happen. Jesse, this is going to be a fucking barn burner on Friday night. I can't wait.
Right. But it's important to make note that Chavo had no idea what happened to Pac's flight.
No.
He was not in on it.
Maybe it's something to do with the Nature Boy.
But maybe. Who knows? I want to see where this goes, because especially with the result of the tag match that we get, how are we gonna get Andrade to the Lucha Bros? Because it's gonna happen because we want it, and Tony Khan gives us everything that we fucking want.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trusting the process right now, but let's get Andrade with some momentum because I feel like he hasn't really done much of anything. I feel like I don't want to say the ball's been dropped on Andrade. I think it's just been a mixture of.
They're trying. No, it's been moving perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Setback with this one. They were supposed to tear this house down.
Yeah.
They would have.
And we're getting it, so it's not like it's lost. The plans are still in motion. It's just taking a little bit to get there for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Lucha Brothers, I think everybody knows exactly what we're going to say. I think everybody saw it. Everybody felt it. I have video of Phoenix flying off the fucking cage like a goddamn psychopath. But the AEW Tag Team Championship match, Steel Cage match, we know going in, this was the result of a tournament. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers, who won the Tag Team Eliminator Tournament by beating Jurassic Express. Jesse, when we talk about the greatest tag team division in all of pro wrestling, the first thing that comes to mind is AEW. When we talk about the greatest tag team match probably of the last decade, maybe ever, we talk about the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page at Revolution. Honestly, I think now we're looking at that match being second place to what we saw last night. Not only is this being heralded as the best tag team match possibly ever, best tag team match in AEW history, this is being talked about as one of the best steel cage matches ever last night. This was absolutely fucking incredible to a point. I even posted on Twitter. After this match was over, I know we had Punk and Darby coming up, and God knows what else Tony Khan had planned with Bryan and maybe Cole. I don't know how anybody looked at this shit when this was over and said, Jesus fucking Christ, I gotta follow this. How the fuck was anybody gonna do? This match was absolutely fucking incredible to a point where I think everything about it was picture perfect. The pacing, the moves, it didn't overstay its welcome. They didn't go too crazy in the beginning because they saved it for the parts that mattered. Bro, this was the most perfect tag team match, Texas Tornado style match, confined in a steel cage match that I think I've ever saw.
This is. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves as far as ever, but I will stay in the lane of where we're in. As we stand right now in early September, this is the best pro wrestling match of the year of 2021.
Yes, and that's a very difficult thing to say after watching Dragunov and Walter do what they did at TakeOver.
Yes, and we still have a few damn months to go, including another AEW pay-per-view. Bro,
let me tell you something. I'm going to stop you right there. We got an AEW pay-per-view coming up where we could possibly see Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole as one of the undercard matches on that show. Just letting you know right now.
And we can get Wyndham Rotunda.
And Wyndham showing up. So
he'll be free. So, I mean, as of right now, we got a MOTY on our hands. But let's see if we get topped. Even if we do get topped, it's not going to diminish the history of this match because it was insane. I think this was also a product of a perfect storm, because if you put this match in fucking Kansas, it would not have been as over as it was. You know, you put that match and that crowd and that cage at this pay-per-view, and it's all come together for a match of the year.
Listen, you know, I know a lot of people. There are a couple of dumb fucks out there. There really is about AEW and the blind hate that we see for AEW. You know, a lot of that blind hate gets thrown at Matt and Nick Jackson, man. And I never understood it. I was not familiar with the Bucks that much with what they did in all their career in New Japan and what they did over there. As soon as AEW started and we started to see the Bucks more here in the States, and I look at them work and I see the level of tag team precision that's, you know, it just is exuded from the Bucks. I don't know how anybody could sit there and say that they're not one of the best tag teams of all time. I mean, these guys, every single time they are put in a situation like this, man, they are a part of fucking tag team history. And the Lucha Brothers are no different. I mean, if you talk about fight forever opponents, these two are fight forever opponents. And I'm gonna mention Santana and Ortiz as well, because they told both me and Hodge that the Lucha Brothers are their fight forever opponents. They could see themselves wrestling the Lucha Brothers into their 60s. So, I mean, with both of these teams, man, like you said, a perfect storm. They work so brilliantly together, and I don't understand the level of hate the Young Bucks get for their I guess, their flamboyance or the fact that they're indie and they're too small. I mean, bro, legitimately one of the greatest tag teams ever. No question.
They get heat because they publicly turned down WWE.
Yeah.
It's what it is. They are small guys. They're not big and meaty and muscle bound and juiced, and they do a lot of spots. But I'll say this about the people who just say that they're just a bunch of spot monkeys. They tell a story in a match and in the ring. I remember one time when the Young Bucks, I think it was Matt. This guy sold a fucking back injury for about 6 fucking months on BTE. On TV, I mean, he just sold this, but they tell awesome stories, and then they'll carry those stories. They'll carry that storytelling into the matches and everything else. I mean, everything they fucking do. I mean, the spiked shoe, it's all a part of the fucking story. And yeah, they do their high spots, but let's break it down to what it really is. What's wrong with doing high spots if they're controlled, if they're safe, they're not excessive, and it's entertaining? Who gives a shit? They're entertaining the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the one high spots that I wish I hadn't seen, because I was actually terrified after it happened, and it was with Matt Jackson. We'll get to it in a second, but this match was fucking incredible. It started off with the babyface teams. The babyface team here in the middle of the ring with the Bucks. They're trading punches back and forth, so we start some, punching back and forth early. The Bucks tried to run up the cage early, but they were drop kicked into the side of the cage. And there was a lot of fast-paced offense to start, including a Hurricane Rana off the top rope onto Nick from Phoenix. Penta also hit a drop kick off the top onto Matt's midsection. So the Bucks took over. on offense when the Lucha Bros both crashed into the steel cage at the same time. Matt hit a power bomb on Phoenix onto the steel cage itself, and Nick hit a kick to Penta's head. Matt got his hands on a chain and used it to choke Phoenix. Phoenix countered a power bomb into the cage, and then Penta hit some fast offense on Matt Jackson, including a backstabber off the ropes. Lucha Brothers then hit some more offense until Nick hit a cutter to separate himself from the Lucha Brothers. Penta hit a cutter on Nick and Matt, and then Matt hit a stunner on him off the top. Penta came back with a double cutter. That popped the crowd big. Penta went for a pin after hitting a cradle slam. Phoenix got shoved off the top and into the cage, and this allowed Nick and Matt to take over for a little bit. Nick hit an assisted senton on Pentagon into a near fall, and then the Bucks hit a double super kick on Phoenix. They went for the BTE trigger, but Phoenix moved, and they hit their own knees. So Matt hit low blows on both Penta and Phoenix to regain control of the match. Matt and Nick tried to rip their masks off at one point, which Penta and Phoenix were asked about their masks and how they do what they do in the ring. They actually said in the post-show scrum that their masks make them feel like superheroes, and they make them feel like they could do anything in that ring. So that was pretty cool that they talked about that in the post-show scrum. The Bucks then long-darted Phoenix into the steel cage, and Brandon Cutler comes out, and he throws a bag over the top of the cage. Matt pulled out a shoe from the bag that had tacks on the bottom of it. So he put the shoe on, and Matt was about to hit Phoenix in the head, but Phoenix protected his brother, and Penta took the kick in the face instead. So Nick then shoved Penta's face into the tack shoe, and then Nick hit a running knee. Penta's face was all covered in blood. The Bucks hit the BTE trigger, but Phoenix broke up the pin attempt. Matt tried to use the shoe, but Phoenix broke free and hit a flurry of offensive moves that were fucking crazy. You know Phoenix, he goes all over the place. Phoenix then used the tack shoe on Nick and Matt, and then a Blackfire driver into a clothespin. Both teams delivered package pile drivers, and then Penta and Matt fought in the ring as Nick and Phoenix laid on the outside of the ropes against the cage. So Penta hit a Canadian Destroyer, bro, off the top rope on Matt, and this is the spot I want to talk about. I don't remember seeing a move like this off the top rope, but when I was watching it live and I seen Matt's head from where I was sitting fucking planted into the mat off the top rope by this Canadian Destroyer, Mexican Destroyer, whatever it is, I mean, that was fucking scary, man. And I thought he was legitimately fucking hurt. I had people texting me watching this on TV that it looked as bad as it did worse on TV than it did live.
Oh man, it was. It looked insane. It really looked insane. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen, and maybe that's where they have us conditioned. I've seen worse. It doesn't make this look any better, but I've seen worse. It's looked pretty bad. There was also a spot, I mean, just a couple of seconds ago, in the spot where, they had them beat. They went for the BTE. They already laid out Phoenix, and then they went for the BTE trigger on Pentagon. Got it. And when Phoenix broke up that pin, this is what I meant about the storytelling. That up to that point, the Young Bucks had total control, and it looked like they did a little comeback spot and did a little beat down spot, and after that BTE trigger, it looked like they had to win. Mm-hmm. They had to win right there. And when Phoenix broke up that pin, dude, the crowd became unfucking glued, because for all intents and purposes, that was over. Yeah. That was it. And then when they got out of that, the crowd said, well, like, fuck that, let's go. Let's fucking go. And then it just got so fucking hype in that arena, dude. It was deafening. It was punk loud deafening at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the storytelling was great. And those near fall attempts off the pins, the crowd was popping for everything after they realized that the Lucha Brothers were on the defensive most of the match, and Matt and Nick were doing anything possible, especially with the shoe being brought into play. Like, they're going to cheat their way to victory like they usually do. That only added to the whole, I guess, feeling of a possible title change there in Chicago. So we got that, and it was a great thing to see. After the Destroyer off the top rope, which left Matt pretty much useless after that spot, they all struggled to their feet. All four men traded chops. I don't even know how he was standing. And then super kicks. Sequence ended with huge crowd reaction after all four men were laid out at the same time. So there was a four-man double down. Phoenix went to the top of the cage. This was the spot, one of the best spots of the entire show. Went to the top of the cage, hit a move, but Nick caught up to him and fell off, which looked like it sucked, but he kind of landed on his feet, but falling from that height is still fucking scary. So Phoenix is up there, and I got it on film, and I showed my best friend Pete. I sent it to him. I'm like, bro, look at this live. He's like watching it live, and he's watching it. He's like, this is one of the best cage matches I ever saw. And I'm in the video. I'm like, please don't die. I don't know what he was going to do, but man, he jumped off that cage, and the height he got by jumping off the cage and landing with a cross body on top of Matt and Nick was absolutely one of the most beautiful things I've seen live. And then a cradle pile driver by the Lucha Brothers. 1, 2, 3, and we have new AEW Tag Team Champions. If there was a team in a moment to beat the Young Bucks for those Tag Team Championships after, how long was it, Jesse? About 9, 10 months they were champions?
Yeah, something like that.
This was the absolute perfect moment to do it, and I'm so glad it was the Lucha Brothers because I know we've been seeing them, you know, kind of with Pac and not really doing much in the tag team realm, and now they're tag team champions, and we got the Andrade thing possibly looming. And I said this on the pre-show, or the go-home show, rather. I'm like, the Lucha Brothers need to win this because I think, A, it's the right moment. B, we're heading into New York City, and Santana of Proud and Powerful tweeted out last night. He said, enjoy it, brothers, ... So you know we are about to get Proud and Powerful versus the Lucha Brothers at some point, and you know what those two teams did in Impact for those Impact Tag Team Championships. I can't wait for that shit. If it happens in New York City, maybe that's where we see Andrade and the Lucha Brothers get involved, and we see a long-winded feud till the end of the year, and we get Proud and Powerful set up as the next Tag Team Champions. This is going to be a great ride, man. I'm loving what's going on here.
Feels good, right?
Yeah.
Feels good. I mean, all of the fucking possibilities. We just got done saying how Private Party wasn't being used enough, and this, and that, and there's all kinds of possibilities, man. I mean, it feels fucking good. There's no lack of opponents for dream matches in AEW right now.
No. This is, it's just a great thing to see, and I'm very excited about what the Lucha Brothers can do with those Tag Team Championships. Rematch clauses do not exist in AEW, so the Young Bucks have to go to the back of the line. I'm not sure if they will be ready anytime soon after the brutal match that we saw last night at All Out, but, you know, Penta and Phoenix deserve it. I think their time is now, and again, just like we saw with Miro and how the championship, TNT championship means a lot to Miro. The Young Bucks have done so great with those tag team championships, finally getting their comeuppance. Perfect storm. And the titles are better off for it. The Bucks are better off for it. And Lucha Brothers are, they were one of the best tag teams in the world. And now they could definitely, take the number one spot with those tag team championships around their waist. Now, awesome stuff.
They just got coordinated.
Yep.
They just got coordinated in the AEW. They're made men in AEW now.
Yep.
You see Pentagon go over there and hug his kids, man.
Yep. All bloody, crying, kissing his wife, kissing his kids. Just
they had to take the family to the back to get him fucking cleaned up from dad's blood, man.
Yep. It's an awesome moment.
No.
Women's Casino Battle Royale. We got a number one contendership on the line for whoever wins this match. We got Big Swole, the Bunny, Thunder Rosa, Red Velvet, Tay Conti, Penelope Ford, Diamante, Nyla Rose, Hikaru Shida, Emi Sakura, Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, Abaddon, Kylan King, Layla Hirsch, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, Anna Jay, Riho, Sky Blue, who everybody apparently is high on. I have no idea who she is. And the Joker card, which ended up being Ruby Soho. So I'm not going to go over all of this because we got, typical Battle Royal stuff here. But Jesse, the thing I want to talk about here besides the end is Jade Cargill. Now, how do you feel about Jade Cargill getting eliminated here, especially getting eliminated by Nyla Rose? Did you have any problem with that at all? Because Jade was kind of on a nice little run there, a nice little streak, eliminating a couple of people. Does this harm her in any way at all, just a little bit, or is she still fine?
No, on the ride home, I was riding with my wife on the way home, and she said to me, and she is in no way a fucking wrestling mark, she's just a fan, but she turned to me and said, she said, I like how, what Tony Khan said was, the women in that match were all telling their own individual stories to help branch off into their own individual feuds as the match went on and everything else. So it gave the match more of a purpose. This is what she said to me. And I said, you're right. You picked up on that. But here's the funny part to that, though. We're conditioned to not know that. The thing is, that is how battle royals are supposed to be booked.
Yeah.
And we just have not been getting that. So you're right. And this is one of those things where Tony Khan didn't necessarily invent the wheel with this concept, but what he did was just did the right thing. He just booked the match the way it's supposed to be booked. So now with Jade Cargill getting eliminated by Nyla Rose, I'm going to take that as, well, that's Jade Cargill's next feud.
Yep. Because
Cargill's still undefeated. You don't get an L on your record for losing the Battle Royal.
No.
And it gives her something to do and somewhere to go in her next feud, because I like Jade Cargill. I think she's going to do big things here. I do think she's still a little green, and she does need extra time on elevations and on dark and everything else. And working someone like Nyla Rose can also help that. It's a different dynamic for her. Nyla Rose is very experienced in the ring, so she'll help her out and everything else. I think Cargill has a little way to go in seasoning, but once that seasoning is done, that's going to be a very fine piece of work right there.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. You know, the showboating needs to come to a halt, because that's exactly what got her eliminated. I mean, I've been saying that since day one. All she does is showboat. All she does is flex her muscles and this and that, looking into the camera. Cut the shit out. I mean, you're in a battle royal with other women, very unpredictable environment and element, and you're there showboating and showing off your muscles, and that's what got you eliminated. So, yeah. I mean, that's what that comes with it being green. I mean, yes, she's physically impressive to look at, but I know that already. So I need to see other aspects of her, and I want to see her actually get in there and be intelligent and not do this, because she's more than just showing off her muscles.
And I think like you said, that's really a part of being green, because it feels like what she's doing is just pacing herself and moving slowly and remembering what she's supposed to do as opposed to messing up. So while she's transitioning between spots, instead of finding different ways to pace herself, instead of just flexing, because she'll do a move, do a spot and flex, and then she'll come up with another spot, do a move and then flex. I understand if she wants to take her time, breathe, and think, but she has to come up with some kind of other mannerisms to do than only the same thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but that will come with experience, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from her right now. I like how they're booking her right now, because if it feels like she's been low profile long enough that she should be higher on the card. But what I see is that they see that she's not quite ready yet, and she still needs more seasoning. So I'm okay with her pacing right now. Yeah,
Sky Blue is another one who I don't know much about. This is legitimately the first time I'm watching her in the ring. I know she was on one of the dark shows. Tony Khan was talking about her, as she was mentioned in the post-show scrum. She was actually the woman who took Julia Hart's spot in the Battle Royal, if I'm not mistaken, Jesse. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Sky Blue took Julia Hart and her position, because Julia Hart was attacked backstage, I guess on Dark, and Tony Khan came out and offered Sky Blue the spot in the Battle Royal, and he said it was completely random, and he did it just because. And if that is the case, then she must have something that has caught in his eye, because he wouldn't have done that for just anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see what happens with her. So we'll keep a close eye on her. Abaddon looked great. I thought she looked the best she's looked since I've known of her. I don't really find the gimmick. Again, it's not my cup of tea. It's not like an Undertaker gimmick. Eventually there has to be an evolution to the Abaddon character. She can't be silent and legitimately an extra on The Walking Dead. She needs to do more. Not all the time. It's great in presentation, but you need to speak. You need to show emotion. There's got to be something else there as far as Abaddon is concerned. But she's mega over. I listen. Everybody loves the zombie girl. I don't know, but I think she needs to do a little bit more.
Or give her a manager.
Yeah, have Vandelli manager.
Oh God, yeah, man.
TK, go hire Vandelli. I mean, let's see what happens. So
Vandelli can manage her and Tara Rising.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, just Rising.
And then we got Thunder Rosa, who is, as over as anybody. So it's always great to see her. And it ended up being Ruby Soho, bro, as the wild card. I will say this, good on TK, because I know he had to pay for the rights to the song. Even though Rancid gave her the blessing to use the song, TK probably had to buy the rights to the song. But if I'm speaking as far as theme music is concerned, I mean, I don't think there's anybody in wrestling right now with a more perfect theme song than Ruby Soho. I mean, it fits her perfectly. This was an amazing debut. This was actually, in my eyes, a lot more of a better handled situation than what WWE did to return Becky Lynch. And I love everything about her presentation. She looks great. She cried on the way to the ring. She was emotional during the post-show scrum. I wanted to get a word in, but everybody was fucking jumping over each other to ask the woman questions at the post-show scrum. I wanted to say, you know, it's genuinely happy to see her happy. Bro, it looks like when I'm watching her at the post-show scrum, it looked like a fucking weight has been lifted off her shoulders and, you know, the chains have fucking broken free. You just see it all over her body language. This was an awesome moment. She got a standing ovation. Her theme song is fucking incredible. And she's in the ring in a battle royal the same way that I had hoped it would happen against Thunder Rosa, man. Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho. I said it on Twitter. This is a future women's championship match that is going to be one of the foundation building pieces to hopefully bring this women's division where it needs to be, man. I'm excited about this potential match. I'm excited about Soho versus Baker. I'm excited about Rosa versus Baker, Rosa versus Ruby Soho. This is a fucking, it's a moment for the women's division right there at All Out.
Yeah, Ruby Soho, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Kris Statlander. These women are they will be the reason why the women's title in AEW will make it to main event status, where they'll make it to main event a pay-per-view at some point. Yeah. They will work it up to that level. They really will. I mean, now they're in a position to start working on these. I would like to call these the four horsewomen of AEW. I mean, because but behind these four women, they're going to build the entire division. Everyone around them is going to get better. Everyone. And I can entirely see two of them main eventing a pay-per-view soon.
It's a beautiful thing to see. And with the ending here, I have no problem with Ruby Soho winning it. I mean, it's a little predictable if the Joker comes in and wins the whole thing, but she's the last one in the ring. But how do you feel about her winning the Battle Royal and getting a title shot right out of the gate? Would you have liked to see Thunder Rosa win it and then cash it in at a later date against Britt Baker and then have Ruby Soho win some matches and get there through winning matches? Or would you have done it the way that they did it last night? Look, because you can't go wrong. I mean, Thunder Rosa would have popped that fucking crowd by winning the match too, you know?
Exactly. You couldn't have gone wrong with Thunder Rosa. She easily deserves it and everything else. But what did Thunder Rosa do? Fresh new talent that came in, she fucking put her over. Yep. You know, Ruby Soho winning the Battle Royal and eliminating Thunder Rosa at the very end, that gives her the nod of approval. You know, Thunder Rosa could have easily said to Tony Khan, that, hey, look, I don't think it's fucking right that I've been here humping it and then someone just comes in on day one and beats me and gets a title shot right away. But that's not Thunder Rosa's style. You know, we know Ruby is a very emotional person when it comes to pro wrestling because she is a legitimate pro wrestler. Not only that, this is somewhat of a homecoming for Ruby. She's from right here close in Indiana, you know, and the pop that she got from the Chicago crowd, I can see the tears, you know, from my section from her coming down to the ring. You know, it's when you leave a company like WWE and you're not a big megastar like a Adam Cole or Bryan, you don't know how you're going to be accepted or brought in and everything else. I mean, it's one of those, she's one of the people where, you know, where you would say all the time, you got to take a chance on yourself. And she is, and she did. But before that reaction, that chance has not paid off yet. She doesn't know how she was going to come off on TV. But after she made it to that ring, she knew that the chance that she took on herself paid off. She was accepted, and she knew she was given the nod to win, and she was going to go over Thunder Rosa. I mean, so the emotions took over. She deserves it because she was not used anywhere near her potential, and she can help build a women's division, and that's exactly what she's going to do right now.
You know, it's amazing. Tony Khan actually put over Ruby Soho in the post-show scrum, saying that before tonight, he never met her before.
Right.
He never met her before. And all he did was listen to other people speak about how great she is as far as her attitude towards everything, and what she meant to that locker room that she just came from. And Tony Khan said that he signed her, and tonight, or last night rather, was legitimately the first time that he saw her and worked with her. And they embraced at the post-show scrum as if they were working together for 5 years. I mean, it was just a great thing to see. The emotion of that woman was great. Everybody was happy that she was happy, and everybody knows how great she can be. And like you said, a lot of people, it's very difficult to walk away from WWE still having love for professional wrestling because all they do is seemingly just kill it and suppress it. The fact that she escaped and now it felt like I said before, the chains are free. I mean, there's no way you can not like what this woman brings to the table. It's such a great signing. It's not going to be the last woman signing for AEW, but I mean, this is a big deal to this women's division. I said it then. I'm going to say it. This is a big deal because she's very over. She's very relatable. She gets it. A lot of people look at Ruby Soho with the punk rock and the tattoos and, how different she looks from the average norm. That's going to be a very relatable and marketable thing for AEW and the fan base, and a lot of people are going to pick up on that, and I think it's a great thing.
She's amazing. Alvarez, I believe it was Alvarez or Meltzer, I forget, but one of the two said something about there being a "we want Tessa" versus "no, we don't" chant.
Yep.
Like I said, I went to the washroom, I missed that. Did that happen?
Yeah, there were a couple of people in the section a little further down from where I was sitting. Very loud, "we want Tessa," and then some fucking geek who was sitting next to me who was in media, he was like, "No, no, we don't." I'm like, "Well, to look over at him, bro, she's still one of the top female performers in the world. I mean, you'd fucking mark out if Tessa was here and the matches that she could bring to the table here." I don't get the hate. I think everybody deserves a second chance. Don't know where she's going to end up, but I did audibly hear those sounds. But she may end up in NXT, man. I don't know.
I'll tell you where it's from. It's not a mystery. That thing, you're right. Everybody deserves a second chance. But she never came clean and apologized.
I know.
She just sat at home and waited for the heat to die down.
I know.
She never made it. She never just cleared the fucking air and just made good on it. And instead, she tried defending herself and then just went away. And then she wants to come back and accept her kudos. Just apologize and get over it, dude. You're gonna get that. If she comes back now, you're gonna get a split crowd. People are gonna have a lot of go away heat for her.
Well, that's why Tony hasn't brought her in yet. He's not an idiot.
I mean, just look, dude. Apologize. Just fucking apologize. The more you try to defend it and deny it and say it's not true, the more people are just gonna think you're lying about it.
Yeah.
So
Ruby Soho coming in was a great addition to AEW, and I think it's going to pay off very well for that women's division. Jericho, Jesse. Jericho, MJF. If Jericho loses, he cannot wrestle in AEW ever again. MJF's entrance started off with a tease that was very Chris Jericho-esque, the countdown timer, and then all of a sudden shows up on the screen. All Out will be Jericho's last match instead of what we would usually see with Jericho's countdown timer saying break the walls down. MJF trolled everybody with his entrance, and I know you got to find. I felt you from the opposite side of the building, Brian. I'm like, Jesse's probably laughing his ass over this shit.
That was so good. That was so fucking awesome.
So he got that entrance. Everybody laughed. Everybody in my section was fucking laughing hysterical because MJF is such a prick, and everybody loves him. But we got Jericho making a ring entrance here, and instead of the soundtrack of the actual Judas track playing, he had a live rendition of his theme played by Billy Gray from Fozzy. Now, I don't know what happened here. I don't know how it came off on TV because I haven't watched it back yet. Maybe you, I know I came into the house after the scrum was over and you were already watching the replay. I don't know where you stopped last night because I passed out. But yeah, from my seat and with my musical ears, because I grew up in a family of musicians, this was a huge fail and a swing and a miss. All I heard was distortion. I heard nothing but buzzing. I heard nothing from the guitar's actual notes being played. And the reason why this was so bad is because the guitar playing was so bad and the guitar sound was so bad that the crowd started to sing along to Judas and the lyrics, and they didn't know what part of the song it was, and everybody sounded off key.
You did. I mean, I from the section I was sitting in and the people who were around me talking, the only thing was we were not prepared for this.
No.
We did not know that we would be singing the theme. So when someone came out playing the guitar for it and everything else, which is fine, I thought we were just going to be getting a live Fozzy performance for it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we were supposed to have, be on cue, being ready to go to sing the whole song. Plus, how many people in the arena didn't take the time to memorize the whole damn song?
I mean, nobody. I mean, there were people in my section that didn't even know the fucking lyrics outside the open of the song and then the chorus. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how long has Chris Jericho been coming out to this fucking song and you don't know the goddamn lyrics to it?
I don't know the fucking lyrics.
What's wrong with you?
I don't memorize the lyrics.
You gotta memorize the lyrics, man. Otherwise, it sounds like shit. You look like an idiot.
Yeah, that's why I just didn't sing.
Okay, then don't sing.
But that's why most of the people didn't. It felt flat because it sounded like they kind of just started to repeat the first part of the first verse instead of going into the hook.
Listen,
so I'm like, we're lost.
Not everything's going to be perfect. This was a huge swing and a miss. He should have just come out regular and let the fans sing along to the actual Chris Jericho singing the song. But as far as the execution of it, it failed. In theory, it's a great idea because I know you probably think the same way as me. Remember when Triple H and NXT used to do the live renditions of Aleister Black and they used to do those special entrances? It gives the match a big fight feel. I like that. I want more of that, especially in AEW. But when it's like this, no, not again. Not
nah. And again, it may have, because when he did it originally, I think it was for the Pittsburgh crowd. I think it was. He gave them like a good week's heads up, and he kept reminding everybody on social media to get the lyrics down right and everything. And they did. They came prepared.
It was Houston. Houston nailed it.
Yeah, they did. They killed it.
Chicago would have nailed it too, except for Billy Gray fucking it up.
Yeah, it wasn't that great, performance. But I think we could have been better prepared as a city if we knew that we were going to be singing the lyrics.
Yeah. Well, early in the match, Jericho went for walls of Jericho. MJF countered into a pin attempt. They spilled to the outside and then back into the ring. Jericho took I don't know what he had on his. I couldn't see from where I was sitting. He took something and tossed it on MJF's head. What did he toss on MJF's head? Did he toss
his jacket?
I think so. It might have been a jacket or something. I don't know. Jericho then followed up with a springboard dropkick. MJF took control of the match, and he counted a baseball slide. Jericho came back with a suplex, elbows, chops to the face. Jericho hit a bulldog and a backbreaker into a pin attempt. These two work very well in the ring. I will say that. MJF hit a double stomp to the left arm and then tossed Jericho onto his head in the corner of the ring. So he's setting up for the salt of the earth. MJF continued to work on Jericho's arm. MJF hit a heat seeker, which I love, on the ring apron, and then that knocked Jericho to the floor. Jericho barely made it back into the ring at the count of 9. So MJF tried an Asai moonsault. He actually landed pretty much on his feet. Jericho countered and slammed MJF's back onto the ring apron. That looked like it fucking sucked. As I was watching on the big screen, the replay they showed in the arena, it looked like it was bad for MJF there. Both men stood up, traded blows in the middle of the ring. Jericho then went for a move off the top, but MJF countered into a jawbreaker and then a pin attempt. Jericho hit a lion salt and then tried to pin MJF, but MJF kicked out. Jericho hit several arm shots to the body in the corner, punched his way out of the corner, and MJF countered a Hurricanrana into a slam off the top. A couple moments later, Jericho hit a code breaker off the second rope and almost got a pinfall. Wardlow stormed to the ring, down the aisleway. He walked to the ring, but Jake Hager ran out there immediately to take him out. They brawled to the back. Referees came out to subdue both of those guys. During all of this, MJF grabbed the baseball bat that Jericho brings to the ring, and he hit Jericho in the face with it. MJF hit the Judas effect on Jericho, pinned him 1, 2, 3. But Jericho already had his foot on the ropes. Aubrey Edwards, the referee of this match, did not see Jericho put his foot on the bottom rope. So, Jesse, I was actually a little angry at the ending. And then all of a sudden, we had a second referee come down, start telling Aubrey what happened. MJF's thinking he won the match. Aubrey restarted the match. Jericho went for a roll-up. MJF kicked out and locked in the armbar submission. Jericho countered into a pin attempt and then the walls of Jericho. MJF tapped out. The whole sequence from the foot on the rope and the winning of the match by MJF, I was angry. And then the referee overturned the decision, man. I absolutely loved the false finish into the sequence that they did from the Heat Seeker to the walls of Jericho. Not the Heat Seeker, the Assault of the Earth into the walls of Jericho, and then Jericho tapping out MJF. I thought it was brilliant, and it really almost brought the heat of the crowd up to like another level or 3. So everybody was angry, and then they were like, oh, yes, finally justice. Justice is served, and MJF got what he deserved. He cheated to win. He was going to steal a victory, and he got what was coming to him, and it was over. It was a fantastic ending.
It is. I thought this was a very underrated match on the card. I mean, probably maybe even rightfully so, because the crowd was just, the card was just so fucking stacked. But when you get done mentioning like the highlights of the night, I think this match was very underrated just for the story alone it told.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue to put this match over for the most part, because at the end of it, I'm gonna footnote it with, I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the out. I didn't like the winner. The finish was fine. I like the false finish. All that was fine. It was awesome. I would have loved to have seen MJF after having the match restarted, come back and win again. Anyway, I'm just looking at it in the sense of making a megastar and moving on from Jericho putting guys over. I mean, Jericho made Sammy Guevara. You know, he made MJF. You know, he's getting Hager there. You know, he's doing great things for Proud and Powerful. I would love to have seen him put the cherry on top and make MJF just an unbeatable megastar. He lost. It's okay. It's not the worst. I'm not angry about it. Like you said, he didn't lose any ground. He's not buried. But I think MJF is the legitimate future of this company, and I think Jericho's on his way out, or on his way to downgrade what he does for AEW on a full-time basis. And it just would have been, good to see MJF come out of this fucking feud unscathed and take that and talk shit about it for the next few months as well.
I know. I'm with you there, and I would have. This is one of the things I would have asked Tony Khan, but I mean, it's like fucking pulling teeth. They got a goddamn question where all these people jumping over each other in the scrum. I would have loved to ask him about the Jericho MJF situation. I don't know why they went with the match on Dynamite for the fifth labor. The fifth labor should have been this, and MJF should have won the fifth labor clean here by Jericho putting over MJF. I absolutely get where you're coming from, so I don't know why they made that creative decision. But on the same topic of discussion, I don't think Jericho losing to MJF, in a career-ending match was even a possibility. Like I don't see that being a thing. I mean, we all know he's pretty much AEW for the rest of his career. He's got another year on his contract. We know he's not going to sit down and do commentary for the entire time he's there, contracted to AEW. But at the same time, I don't think MJF losing really harms him in any way. I don't. I mean, MJF is so over with the fucking crowd. Everybody knows how good he is, and everybody loves to hate him no matter what. When he feuds with somebody else and they fucking want to get on his, break his balls, it's going to be a level of hatred like he usually brings to the table anyway. So nobody's going to remember this. And I get where you're coming from, but I'm not looking at it as a big deal. Like if Cody Rhodes was to beat a Malachi Black, that would piss me the fuck off.
Yeah, no, that's different. No, I'm not saying Jericho is out there burying MJF by taking the win. Just for me in my eyes, this is how you continue to build mega stars. Fucking Darby lost. It's okay.
Yeah, Darby. Yeah, well, that's a completely different situation in its own right too.
It's okay. It's fine. There's no and there was no harm in MJF losing to Jericho. It's okay. I'm just thinking down the road. It's just long term. Remember back when fucking MJF just fucking completely annihilated Jericho to the point where he retired him?
Yeah.
He still may retire Jericho. Who knows? We'll see.
I think MJF's going to be fine. I mean, we were all talking about him maybe winning this match and then being thrusted into world title contention. With everything that's coming to AEW and who's coming to AEW, I mean, I think not only did MJF get moved down the ladder a little bit, but Adam Page got moved down the ladder a little bit too. We don't know where he's going to factor in because Tony Khan at the end of the scrum said that Adam Page asked for time off and he was granted time off. So he knew what was about to happen, and I don't know how negatively it's going to impact both of those guys, but we'll see. I think MJF is going to be fine. He's got pretty much an unscathed record. I think he's got 2 losses in 2 years in AEW. It's not that big of a deal. So, he's going to be fine.
That's something I like about AEW too, as opposed to like Sasha has been gone since WrestleMania. Well, where's Sasha? Well, she's just gone.
Yeah.
Just gone. Is it COVID? Is she pregnant? She's just gone. Well, where's Hangman?
We're going to promote her, but she's gone. She's not going to be on the show.
She's gone. Well, where's Hangman? Hangman requested time off, and he was granted it.
Yes. Okay. His wife is pregnant. He wants to be home with his family. There you go.
That's it.
He comes back when he comes back.
No more fucking questions. He come back when he's good and goddamn ready. He has a fucking family.
Listen, MJF's got no shortage of opponents. You put him in the ring with CM Punk, it's going to be absolutely fucking gold on television. You put him in the ring with a promo against Daniel Bryan, it's going to be gold on television. He will be fine.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to beat those guys, but we'll see when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But this was a great match. I actually enjoyed their fifth labor match better than this one. On Dynamite.
But dude, can you imagine promo work between MJF and Bryan Danielson?
I can't imagine Punk and fucking MJF in the middle of the ring. Can you imagine that?
Oh my God.
You stop everything and you listen to those two men speak. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Speaking of Punk, we got CM Punk versus Darby Allin. 7.5 years. Chicago waited for this moment, and it finally happened. Everybody there in the building, they were showing the pre-match vignette with Darby Allin, and legitimately everybody was on their feet. As soon as Jericho beat MJF, nobody sat down.
Nope.
Nobody sat down. They all stood in anticipation for why we were there, and that is CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Jesse, I know you were watching this with eyes glued to the ring. Punk, after 7.5 years, I can honestly say, and I was a little worried about how he would show up in the ring, but I can confidently say this man has been away for 7.5 years, and it looked like he hasn't missed a fucking step at all.
No.
He worked as good as he did 7.5 years ago, and he worked a methodical style with Darby Allin, giving Darby enough offense to make himself look good. Punk didn't overstress himself. He didn't blow himself up. He looked in incredible shape, and he worked a methodical style, almost like a technical Bret Hart style in the pacing that he showcased on Sunday night. It was a masterclass by Punk, and if anybody has any doubts about what he's going to bring to the table and if he fits into the main event scene in the future in AEW, I mean, I think last night was a fucking perfect story to really put everybody to bed with. It's not something you need to worry about.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. He didn't come out and work slow and work boring. And that's one of the benefits of doing a match like this in your home city. He could have worked that match at any pace he wanted, and he would not have frustrated this crowd because we know that he's trying to get his bearings and trying to get his feet wet back in the business again. But with that being said, he did take his time. He did pace himself. He went into rest holds and everything else. He hyped up moves. He made the match entertaining, and he made sure it worked at a pace that did not put him in a spot to do too much too soon.
Yeah.
All right. And he worked perfectly well. The bumps he took them clean. I mean, there was no big deal. Darby made him look like a fucking megastar. I mean, like we knew he would. And the thing about it is, Punk looked like he didn't miss a step, man. But we're only going to get better. We're only going to get faster paced Punk matches. We're going to get those high spots back as he gets warmed up again. So the match could not have gone any better at all. I don't know what else to say. It was absolute perfection. It was hard to watch Punk wrestle someone that you also wanted to cheer and you also wanted to win. And I found at a couple of spots, people were like, "Hey, let's boo Darby." And it was like, "Boo, boo, boo." Okay, so
no, there was some dueling chants. Let's go Darby. Let's go Punk. You know, or let's go Darby. CM Punk. It was a very even crowd for both guys. I mean, they're both loved. Punk actually came out wearing long tights, looked in great shape. Like I said, what'd you think of the long tights, Jesse? Instead of the traditional CM Punk trunks that we remembered him wearing, I actually do not mind the long pants on Punk.
No, they look perfectly fine to me. I mean, again, this is just his new attire. This is going to be his new gear for right now. Maybe he goes back to the trunks. Who knows? But he looked perfectly fucking fine in these. I mean, I like the he's always going to have his Chicago gear on and everything else. The Chicago pants. I like that part. But I was not missing that. As long as he didn't come out in like jeans or some shit, or a singlet, you know. But he's perfectly fine.
The match started with a lockup. And Allin executed an arm drag takeover that left Punk with a smirk on his face and almost with a, okay, I know what I'm getting myself into type of nod. If you guys remember, and I don't know, I can't even get a fucking question in here, man. You know, it reminded me of the Bret Hart and 1-2-3 Kid match on Monday Night Raw in the 90s when Brett put over the 1-2-3 Kid in that match on Raw. It was legitimately the same spot and the same reaction that Brett gave Kid, Punk gave Darby here tonight. I wanted to ask them if that was actually a throwback and an homage to what had happened in that Brett 1-2-3 Kid match, and if they found any influence in that. I don't know if you picked up on that, but I saw it after the fact, and it just really stuck out to me for some reason.
No, I did not. I didn't see that aspect of it at all. The vibe of it was it felt like an exhibition match, because there was no real story going into it, and we had two supreme baby faces going at it. It felt like let's have this off the books wrestling match, and that's exactly how it came out. They were all babyface moves in the ring, in the match itself. There was no heel out moments by anyone. Usually you get two baby faces. Usually sometimes you'll get a guy who plays heel in the match. Like, it wouldn't have been too far gone to have Darby do some heel tactics in the match, just so the crowd can have a more easier dynamic to know, hey, boo me and cheer this guy.
Yeah, well, there was one moment in the match. I'll get to it in a bit. Punk grabbed a side headlock, hit the ropes before hitting Allin with a shoulder block. Allin got Punk into a hammerlock, into a roll-up, and a pin attempt. Punk fought back with a back elbow, slammed him, pin attempt. Punk was working a nice pace early on, not really stressing himself out. Punk tried for an early GTS, which was going to be the story of this match. Allin slipped out, rolled out to ringside because he knew it was coming. Allin turned things around with a couple of coffin splashes in the corner, but Punk tossed Allin through the ropes and into the ring post. From my vantage point, it looked like Darby hit his fucking head on the way through the ropes into the steel post, but it looked like his back in the replay. Either way, it looked like it sucked. But Punk fought back with a back elbow. Through the ropes. Later in the match, Allin slid out of the abdominal stretch into a stunner. So Allin hit a flurry of offense along with some palm strikes to the face, slapping Punk in the face, a code red into a pin attempt. Allin tried to move off the top, but Punk caught him in a suplex position. Allin countered and landed on Punk into a crossbody, tried to pin him. That was a nice spot. Punk bridged out of another pin attempt and then hit the GTS. So it's one GTS on Darby Allin, and Allin fell through the ropes. Punk showed emotion about, oh no, there's my chance to beat him, and he rolled out of the ring. The force of it really just shoved Darby out of the ring through the ropes. Allin got back in the ring before the count of 10 out of 9 count. So Punk...
That spot, I'm sorry to cut that spot Punk used against Cena at Money in the Bank.
Oh, yes, it was. Now that you mention it, I do remember that, yep. Punk hit several strikes to the body and a knee to the face, followed by a roundhouse clothesline. Punk signaled that he would hit a GTS, but Allin just kind of fell to the mat. Punk picked him up for the GTS, but Allin hit elbows to the head and to the jaw. And then Darby followed up with a dive through the ropes that knocked Punk to the floor. Best suicide dive in the business is Darby Allin. Like a fucking missile out of a cannon, man. It was beautiful.
No, it was
so Allin followed up. He went to the top, hit a beautiful swanton onto Punk. This really popped the crowd live. Allin went for the coffin drop, but Punk, this was one of my favorite spots of the whole night. He went for the coffin drop. Punk sat up like the fucking Undertaker and laughed like the Undertaker laughed at Brock Lesnar when they both sat up together. It was fucking awesome.
You remember? I don't know if anybody remembers, but Punk said in the interview that coffin drop like it scared the shit out of him. He didn't want to take that bump.
Yep.
And sure enough, when he went for it, he stood, and that was what the smile is for. Like I said, I didn't want to take that fucking bump.
So
it was a fucking scary bump.
So he sat up like the Undertaker. Allin rolled him up in a crucifix, and Punk rolled into a GTS attempt out of the crucifix. Allin slipped out, rolled up Punk for a near fall. Punk then hit a standing leg lariat, which looked great. Allin tried a poison Rana, but Punk hit the GTS for the win. Now, the one spot I wanted to talk about, Jesse, is when Allin, right before he went for the coffin drop, he did CM Punk's go to sleep motion, putting his hands folded over on his face. That was a heel moment where the crowd actually started to boo Darby Allin because how dare you make fun of Punk's GTS signal?
How dare you? You lost your mind. That was the only heel moment. He did heel out for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Darby channeling as in a heel, and then he then Punk set up like the Undertaker. But he did land a GTS. The story of the match was that Punk needed 2 GTSs to pin Darby Allin. So if everybody that says Darby was not really looking good because he took the loss here, I mean, it took 2 of Punk's signature moves to finish him off, and Darby gave everything to Punk. Punk looked great. Punk gave it right back to Darby. Offense and defense was great from both guys. I mean, I don't know how anybody looks at this and says neither one of these guys got over. Like, Punk was over because he won the match. Obviously, he's not going to lose his hometown match. And then Darby Allin just being in this match, like we talked about, Jesse, on the show every Wednesday night. This is the biggest match of his life. He's just over for just showing up to work.
It's the biggest life of his career. The only thing Punk had to do in this match was not stink it up.
Yeah.
All right. He couldn't come out there and just look like garbage. And that was not the case. He needed to win. That was the case. All Darby had to do was come out and do Darby things.
Yep.
That's it. Just be fucking Darby. There's no instruction here. You just go out there and do the fucking match. I'll be interested to see who called that match. I wonder if Punk got right back in the groove or if he let someone else call it. I don't know. But nonetheless, Darby being in the ropes when the starting bell hit made Darby a success.
Yeah.
He just had to be there. And as long as they didn't, pull a Lynchburg and beat him in 20 seconds, Darby was always going to come out of this match looking better than he did
he's a made man now. He's a legitimate face of the company now.
He did. There in the history books, there will always be the question of who was Punk's first opponent when he came back, and it was Darby fucking Allin.
Yep. Sting walked out to shake CM Punk's hand, help Allin up. Allin wanted to get up on his own. Punk and Allin shook hands at the end of the match. Punk actually talked about Sting's involvement here, and Sting and CM Punk were actually talking about the 2.0 segment from Rampage, I believe. It was Rampage or Dynamite when 2.0. Was it Rampage where they attacked CM Punk?
Yeah,
it was Rampage. And then he said that he went over that spot with Sting, and it was more of a situation going back and forth, and they were bouncing ideas off of each other. He said it was the most stress-free, creative talk that you could possibly have. And this is what's great about AEW. You throw ideas back and forth. You work with somebody like Sting who's bouncing ideas off me. I'm bouncing ideas off him, and we just go out there and do this shit. It's like it's not that difficult of a task to get done, and it's like it's just a breath of fresh air almost. So he was talking about how Sting is influential in what's been going on here with Darby, and how Sting has been influential in the little bit that he's been around Punk and 2.0 and Danny Garcia. It's just, this is why Punk's here. Like, just let them be.
Yeah. If I'm gonna try to figure out the process from what everyone is saying, from what I can see, it appears that the process is Tony Khan comes to them and says, "All right, Punk's gonna be going over tonight. You guys go out there and do what you do. You got 15 minutes or you got 20 minutes or whatever."
Yep.
You go to the producer, and the producer and Punk and Darby, they sit down and do their fucking ideas, and they go out there and do the fucking match.
Yep.
Done.
Simple. I mean, you're going to tell Sting what to fucking do? I mean, you're going to tell Punk what to do?
Nope.
Punk is going to go out there and give you the best performance he could possibly give you. Come up with something. Go tell Tony Khan what you're doing. He approves it. Goodbye. Go ahead. Have a blast. Simple.
Love it.
It doesn't need to be fucking micromanaged. It doesn't need to be, ripped up half an hour before the show only to be written by a fucking 80-year-old idiot. Crazy. Anyway.
Amazing.
Paul Wight, bro. Paul Wight versus QT Marshall. This was the most perfect come-down match you could possibly ever have because nobody gave a shit. I think people were booing that this match was actually on the card every time the vignette or the attraction came up on the big screen. Paul Wight versus QT Marshall. I don't even want to talk about it because it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Paul Wight with a choke slam, 1, 2, 3, beats QT Marshall. There you go.
Okay.
Why is it on the show? I have no idea.
No idea.
Backstage promo from Malachi Black. He talked about Dustin Rhodes on Dynamite Wednesday. I'm very much looking forward to that match. And he talked about Cody and how he took the crutch and he bashed it over Cody's skull and it's wrapped around him and it's left him out all these weeks. Still, he hasn't come back. We're definitely getting a Malachi versus Cody match. Whenever that happens, I don't know. But I love the fact that Malachi is taking out everybody in the Nightmare family, and it's going to result in hopefully Cody losing in a 1, 2, 3 match, a hard-fought match, but Malachi getting the victory. I like the fact that he's destroying all of the Nightmare family. I do.
You know what I like and appreciate? I mean, no cap. I'm not trying to like, be sarcastic, whatever. I like the fact that Cody Rhodes was not on this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, well, more and more you see this talent, he's not going to be needed on every fucking show, which is a great deal.
And that's what I was just getting ready to say. I mean, not that I hate him so much, I don't want him on the show. He wasn't needed. And if you stuck him on there, he would have looked shoehorned.
Yeah.
It was not needed. There was no build for it. He was not needed on the show, so he stayed in back. Perfectly fine. I mean, I don't hate him to the point I don't want to see him, but if he would have showed up on the show, this is what I would have meant. You're shoehorning yourself into the show because it's a big show.
Yep. He
was not there. Hats off. He knew it wasn't needed. They knew it wasn't needed. He'll get back into the ring when it's time, maybe at Full Gear. I like that.
So Dynamite's looking awesome, guys. It's going to be a big show on Wednesday. Hopefully you can join us live. We will be going over Dynamite as usual. Minoru Suzuki versus Jon Moxley and Malachi Black versus Dustin Rhodes. Ruby Soho appearance. Maybe we see Adam Cole. It's going to be awesome. Dynamite is going to be, it's already appointment television. It's only gotten better, which is unbelievable. But Wednesday is going to be a must-see show on Dynamite. Main event, AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Jesse, what was your vibe sitting where you were about how the crowd came off here? A lot of people in my section, I seen John Alba was sitting in front of me. Sean Ross Sapp was sitting in front of me. I seen him, post on Twitter that the crowd was a little indifferent towards this being the main event match. I'm not sure if it was indifferent because I don't know if the people really hated it. I just think that it's been such a great show. The show flowed. Everything made sense on the show. We just got done seeing CM Punk and Darby Allin have a great match. Then we got QT Marshall and Big Show. Did people get the way you felt where you were sitting? Did they get disappointed with this being the main event? Was it something where they were completely out of the match and disinterested in it because of the potential of Bryan and maybe Cole showing up? Or did they genuinely enjoy it but just were spent of energy for a long night?
It had nothing to do with energy. We had plenty of it, as you can see, come the end of the night. Tony Khan just killed everybody in Chicago by the end of this night, by the way. Yeah. I mean, we can't pop that fucking much in one night. No. He almost fucking killed us all, man. Yeah. We blew our fucking minds when Cole came out. And then what did he do 3 minutes later? I mean, he's almost fucking killed us. But the issue with the match was Christian Cage. And that's from the talk from everyone around us. Kenny was there. We love Kenny unconditionally. Kenny can do no goddamn wrong. But seeing him in a main event match with Christian Cage was not anything exciting. They were booing him and cheering Kenny through the dynamic of the whole match.
So the predictability of him having a second match with Christian, with Kenny rather, Christian, and knowing everybody in that building knew that Christian was not going to be Kenny Omega a second time in a row. That was the downfall of this match.
That didn't help because we knew who was winning, but also it didn't matter if they had that first match or not. Nobody wanted to see Christian Cage in the main event with Kenny Omega. It just wasn't built up to that point. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Kenny Omega was the world champion, I guess, gave this match the reason to be a main event. I don't think they were booing because it was in the main event. That match could have been in the middle of the show. And it still would have been a title match with Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage does not seem to fit the bill of biggest pay-per-view in AEW history.
No.
It just doesn't. Especially when you have the stacked card that you already have. I mean, even before we get into the new additions, the card that you already have, you could have built us a better opponent for Kenny Omega for the biggest pay-per-view in your history. But nonetheless, I mean, I think the work rate in the match was meh.
I mean, it was fine. I mean, it was fine for what it was. I mean, I enjoyed their first match on Rampage more than I did this one.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It didn't live it up. It didn't live up to it. I mean, Christian Cage felt just about as welcome as Paul Wight was in his match. I'm not even kidding. Not even exaggerating that. But as the match carried on and wound on, we kind of started getting that sense of, okay, it's almost the end, and we've seen no Daniel Bryan yet, so we know what's coming. So we started waiting to see, like, was he going to come out and interrupt? And then when the match was, at the end, like, oh, what the fuck, man? Seriously. And that's when the excitement happened. But as the match went on, there was just no interest in Christian Cage, dude. None.
Well, I mean, the match from where I was sitting at my vantage point, I mean, I wasn't really completely interested in it just based off the predictability of the match. But the match itself was fine. I think everybody around me was just waiting to see what happened at the end, and that's all people cared about. But Christian charged Omega rather charged at Christian. Christian moved. He went for a kill switch right away. They fought on the outside. Christian did a dive off the top onto Omega to the floor. Omega came back, set up a table on Christian's body on the ring floor. Omega ran from the ring apron, hit a double stomp that broke the table over Christian's body. Back in the ring, Christian hit some chops to the chest and then a Texas Cloverleaf attempt when Omega broke free, hit a clothesline, went for a pin of his own. Omega continued with the offense with an attack in the corner by slamming Christian on his back. Omega with some chops and some punches in the corner. He then pushed Christian off the top rope to the floor. Omega tried a moonsault off the barricade, and he slipped, landing right on his tailbone. Crowd was chanting, "You fucked up," around the, couple of front rows, and then Omega laughed it off. He jumped back on the barricade and did a quick moonsault off the barricade with no hands. So, I mean, yeah, laugh at Kenny Omega for slipping, clearly, but he came back.
Giving him shit.
I know, he came back and he fucking executed a perfect moonsault, so that's that. So he tried the moonsault, he slipped, he did it again, hit it on the floor. The match moved back into the ring. Christian fought back with right hands, but Omega sent him into the turnbuckle. Omega then followed up with a Ushigoroshi into a pin attempt. Christian fought back, hit a Hurricanrana off the top. He was a little too out of it to make the cover on Omega. Christian hit some punches in the corner. Omega tried the one-winged angel, but Christian countered and resumed, punched it away in the corner. Christian tried for the cloverleaf submission again, but Omega broke free, and Christian hit a back-first DDT, a reverse DDT. Christian charged at Omega, hit a knee strike to the chin. Christian fought back with a swinging DDT into a pin of his own. Omega fought back with some elbow strikes, leg lariat, V-trigger, 2 snapdragon suplexes. Christian flipped him off, and Omega hit another V-trigger. Omega tried to hit a German suplex off the apron through the table that was set up earlier in the match, but Christian fought back, and he attempted a kill switch off the ring apron onto Omega. A lot of people were standing up for this, chanting, "Don't die, don't die." Christian, he slid into the ring. He then speared Omega through the table, which from my vantage point looked like they barely hit the table, but the table broke anyway, so it was a nice spot there towards the end of the match. Both men made it back into the ring. Christian speared Omega in the ring, followed up with a regular spear, and then out of a pin attempt, Christian hit a splash. Omega got the knees up. Omega hit several knees to the face. Christian fought back, countered into the cloverleaf again, but Don Callis called out the Good Brothers. Christian fought them off. Christian hit the kill switch, but Omega kicked out of a pin attempt. Callis then gets into the ring, distracts the referee. This allows Omega to get his bearings back. Christian tried the kill switch off the top, but Omega gouged his eyes, and off the top rope came a one-winged angel, and that was it. That was it. Omega was not. That was it. He was like, "I'm going to end this shit right now." There's no way Christian was kicking out of that. After the match was over, the rest of the Elite walked out to celebrate with Omega. They attacked Christian, and Jurassic Express ran out. They were outnumbered. Omega grabbed the microphone and said, "No one is on his level when it comes to this AEW championship. The only people that would ever have a chance to win it are not in AEW. They've already tried, and I've beaten them, or they are dead." The lights went out, and this shocked me because I wasn't expecting them. And everybody wanted him in New York, but Adam Cole walks out. And Jesse, I'm going to say this right here, right now. It is so great that this man finally has actual fucking theme music that we can actually like.
No, I to be honest with you, I couldn't hear shit. I did not hear that song at all. I had no idea what his theme music is.
Well, I went back and listened to it. I'm like, yeah, but it's better than his WWE theme.
It's gotta be.
He walked out and he super kicked Jungle Boy. Cole then went to, there was a little tease that he was actually going to be against the Elite. Then he showed his true allegiance. He super kicked Jungle Boy. They all hugged. They double kissed the Buck. He was double kissed by the Young Bucks on the cheek. And he said on the microphone, "The Elite is the most dominant faction in the business, and there's no chance in hell that someone could stop them." Omega said that is a happy ending and bid everyone adieu. Adam Cole did his Adam Cole Baby skit in the middle of the ring, and there was 11,000 people that did it with him. It was fucking incredible.
Oh no! Wait, but first, Kenny get back on the mic, and he said, "Well, what'd you guys think was gonna happen? This guy's our best fucking friend."
Yeah, really. So the lights went out again, and Bryan Danielson showed up. A big brawl broke out with Danielson on the babyface side of things, fighting alongside Jurassic Express and Christian, and they took out the Elites, and that was the way the show went off the air. This was absolutely fucking history in the making. Daniel Bryan, a.k.a. Bryan Danielson, is in AEW, And as far as I am concerned, listen, his music started off very similar to the Flight of the Valkyries in WWE, like a remix of sorts. I was a little disappointed that we didn't hear Europe's Final Countdown. I'm not sure if there is a possibility of that being a work in progress or if this is his legit theme music. It's okay, but it's very, it's not very Daniel Bryan-esque. But massive yes chants all night. There were a couple of questions in the scrum about, can they still do the yes chants? Is it trademarked by WWE? And all I'm thinking to myself is, who gives a shit? He doesn't have to say yes. That'll be our job. They can't fucking trademark us. We could say yes all we want.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And that was one of my questions weeks ago. Like, can he do it?
Yeah.
He said, I mean, it appeared, it wasn't, his answer wasn't a clear cut, no, I can't do it. But it appeared like, at this time, at moment in time, they didn't want to risk it or challenge it to see. They just fucking stayed away from it for right now. But yeah, the crowd can do it all they want. But if Daniel Bryan doesn't do it and can't do it, then the crowd won't continue to do it down the road. Eventually, it's going to die off, which is maybe what they wanted to do.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not going to die off because AEW fans want what they want and they're going to do what they want. So every time we see them, we're going to associate the fucking yes chant with them.
Yeah.
But as far as what we saw as a visual here, bro, we got Kenny Omega, the Bucks, and Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan, or Bryan, I got to get used to it, Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, and Jurassic Express, man. We're looking at a potential of Danielson versus Kenny Omega, Danielson versus Cole, possibly CM Punk. And he's talked about this. I was watching, or you were watching right next to me here on the couch. In the Airbnb, you were watching Punk on Renee's podcast right before the show, and he mentioned I want to wrestle the Young Bucks and my tag team partner. I'd love to have Daniel Bryan as my tag team partner. We're going to eventually get that. He's not going to throw that out there, and it's not going to happen. But bro, we could be, bro. We're looking at a situation right now where we're automatically going to get Bryan versus Omega and Bryan versus fucking Cole potentially, and they had a little pull apart and at the scrum, and it was great. I mean, I told Adam Cole myself. I asked him at the scrum. I asked him about his Twitch and how important it was to him. And I'm like, "Are you glad that you can actually play video games here now, signing with AEW?" You know, and he looked in my eyes and he fucking smiled and his face lit up. And I told him I was more excited about you coming in here than both Punk and Bryan because of how great he is. And
I saw that look on his face. You can genuinely tell how much he loves his Twitch supporters.
Man, he's just a genuinely fucking great guy. I could just tell just by him speaking to us. He was so happy to be there. But we're already looking at a situation where Bryan is in, and we may get that Cole match that we got on SmackDown a couple years back after that Saudi incident, and that was just a tease.
Yeah.
This legitimately was history, and a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, they blew their load in one shot. How could they do Bryan and Cole? Why didn't they save Cole for New York?" And I said, some fucking AEW hater on Twitter, complete fucking blithering idiot that she was. She said, "Oh, the only criticism I have about it is they blew all their shot in one show." I'm like, you do realize that Tony Khan has a Rampage and a Dynamite to build towards, and how appointment television is already on Wednesday night. It's even more so now, right? And then Tony Khan knew that this pay-per-view was going to do at least as close to 200,000 buys as possible. Why not showcase, all right, I got Bryan, I got Cole, you're going to watch Dynamite, you're going to watch Rampage, I'm set up for full gear, and you're going to be fucking invested more so now than ever before. Why not showcase all that? Coming off this momentum, you want those guys there to continue building for the other shit that you got coming up. So get them out there. Now we may have Cole and Bryan at the New York City show. It's going to be the biggest Dynamite ever. I mean, it's just a perfect, like you said it before, bro, perfect storm. And I was hesitant about doing it at first, but after watching last night, I'm like, it was perfect to debut all these guys at the same time.
I was saying that I've been on record and saying you want to space it out. You got time and everything else. But I was talking about it last night on the way home this morning with my wife. Is you got to get these guys on TV. I mean, you got to roll them out. You got to start, planning their, their long-term stories and things like that. So I can see the flip side of just getting them out there. Plus, think about what they did. They popped us with Cole, then they popped us with Bryan. Dude, we left there just head blown. It's like he just could have stopped with Cole and never gave us Bryan, and we would have called this the best show ever.
Yep.
But then you gave us Bryan on top of it, and we just got CM Punk's first match back. We got Ruby Soho. Tony Khan, he gave the wrestling fans literally everything they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us everything that we wanted, and now he's going to put together an awesome series of shows and pay-per-views with the new talent that he has, and I can't complain about that.
No.
I cannot.
No, this was history in the making. I even told Tony at the end of the scrum, I got the last question, and I'm like, I use this word a lot on social media when, talking about this entire month from First Dance up until this and whatever is left to come. History. And it is history in the making. Punk even called this bigger than Hogan, Hall, and Nash with the NWO. He said he'd probably get some flack for it, but I don't give a shit. Having Cole and Bryan here with me, this is bigger than the NWO. I don't know if it's going to be as big as that. The correlations are certainly there. But it can be. It can be, yeah, because I mean, in all for the simple fact of the change that is happening in the industry, and we're shifting more to a pro wrestling mindset instead of this fucking sports entertainment bullshit. But the one thing that we need to now look at and really dissect, there's no, if you are a normal human being and you're WWE, do you watch this and say, hey, what are we doing? We need to get better. Let's get this shit together. I don't think WWE is going to do anything. I know you think the same way. They're not going to combat anything. It's going to be as awful as it's ever been tonight. They're probably going to wait till The Rock is back to swing momentum into their favor, which is not really, at this point, exciting at all. But as far as, it's funny. WWE is stacking up that Madison Square Garden show next week with Lesnar and Sasha and Edge and Rollins and Roman Lesnar and all this other shit that they got. Maybe Cena. Who knows? They're loading that show up, and Tony Khan, bro, at every twist and turn is like, "Oh, you doing that? I'll double down on you. Oh, yeah, I got this. Follow that." And that's exactly what he did last night. Follow that. You can't follow it.
Yeah. The thing is, WWE as it stands right now, they are incapable of combating what we just saw at All Out last night. Now, and there's also nobody in the company that has the ability to combat what we saw last night at All Out, except Paul Levesque.
Yeah.
At which they cut his balls off, and he doesn't have that fucking power anymore. So as long as Vince and Bruce are giving us, even if they see what they saw last night and decide to say, okay, we're going to combat that, even if they come at us with the best that they have, they don't know how to give us what we want. They think they're giving, we need more Logan Paul. We need more Goldberg. That is not what's going to turn things around. Now, if you gave Triple H carte blanche, get out of his way, go back home to fucking Stanford and let the man work, he can combat it. Triple H, if he had full control of Raw and SmackDown, he could combat it with the roster that he has. We know that's never, ever, ever going to happen, though. Ever.
Listen, that's all I want, competition. It seems like AEW is in competition with themselves. They do something as great as they did last night, and they're going to look back and say, how do we fucking top ourselves? That's the competition. WWE is not even a competition anymore.
No.
It's not.
It is not.
Anyway, guys, I appreciate all you stopping by. I will be live tonight as well for Monday Night Raw. We got a lot of super chats to get through, so I want to put on some tunes. I want to thank you guys so very much for sticking with Jesse and I. This is a monumental moment, history in the making, like we said it would be. Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson is in AEW, and the future is going to be one that forever changes this industry to pro wrestling, and sports entertainment is falling further down the fucking toilet.
I want to say something now as opposed to the end of the show, which is when I normally would.
Yep.
But I want to say it now before we lose any viewers. The support that me and JD has received over this weekend, I mean, I can kind of speak for both of us when I say it has been extremely overwhelming and humbling. I've seriously felt like somewhat of a local celebrity, and I don't feel like that I'm worthy of any kind of praise like that. I really don't. And I'm a very cocky and a very, pretty much into myself asshole at times. But this weekend was a completely humbling experience, and I want to sincerely thank any and everyone who supported us in any way over these last few months or so of this big run in wrestling. Thank you.
Very well said, man. I appreciated you being here with me, and I'm glad to share Saturday night with you. It was an excellent time, and it won't be the last, I'll tell you that.
Yep.
Starting off at the top here, Joshua Bennett with a $5 super chat. The Butcher, Suzuki, Ruby Soho, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson. My brain is effing fried. You and me both, man. Jesse as well. We're all fucking mentally drained, and I got Raw that's gonna put me into depression later. Jazz with a 20 in UK. Keep up the great work, JD. Best in the IWC. Fuck the haters. Thank you so much, Jazz. Always. I got into a little. Listen, there's a little story I gotta tell you here, man. I was telling Hoop Media this after the show was over. I was live streaming the Scrum, and I was standing next to Sap, who's been incredibly nice to me. So shout out to Sean. And
he was drunk as hell Saturday night.
Was he? No, Sap doesn't drink.
He acted like he was drunk as hell.
Well, maybe he was drunk off excitement. I have no idea, but he doesn't drink alcohol. But I'll tell you who does. Nick Hausman drinks. And I was standing next to him, and he got into a little back and forth with Izzy's father.
Oh, his father was there?
Yeah, he was standing right in front of me, I had a couple words with him outside. He's very nice. And Nick Hausman was looking at my live stream. We had almost 5,000 in the chat for the post-show Scrum stream that I did last night. So after it was all over and wrapped up, he looked at me. He's like, "Well, you had a lot of people, watching the Scrum." He's like, "What outlet are you with?" I looked at him. I'm like, "I'm JD," and he's like, "Oh," and then he shut up. He didn't say anything. I'm like, "Yeah, bitch. I'm not supposed to have 5,000 fucking people in my stream. What'd you have on Wrestling Inc? What, 1,200, 1,300? Get the fuck out of here. Clown."
Oh, God.
Clown.
I'm JD, motherfucker.
That's it. He's like, oh. It's exactly how I said it, too. DJ 499 All Out was All Out, and AEW has more big stars than WWE, and that's sad. Rest in peace, NXT. You can thank Nick Conman for that. The Pacifist with a $5 super chat. Haven't watched wrestling in 3 years. Just bought this because I had nothing to do. Money well spent. Tag team title match was the match of the night. Yes, it was. It was an excellent match. Eddie Hazard with a 1999 super chat. I watched All Out with 3 friends. When Cole and Bryan showed up, they were screaming so loud we drowned out my TV. So cathartic to see them in front of a hot live crowd again. Punk versus Darby was absolute gold. Legendary pay-per-view. It's one for the making, man. History was made last night in Chicago. Let me scroll up here. I got so many to. I can't. My YouTube is like fucking shutting down here. Nickname Mine with a $5 UK. Did you get a chance to see any TV footage? How did you like the cage match? It was mainly filmed from inside the cage. I don't know, Jesse, you watched it a little bit of it last night. Did you like the way it came off on TV?
I did see the cage. In the live crowd, the cage did not really interfere with our view. The way my seat was, I was kind of at an angle where like one of the posts were basically right in my center field of view of the ring.
Yep.
But nobody stayed exactly in that center view of the ring. And on TV, it looked awesome as well. So, I mean, there was zero complaints about the cage or the structure. And this was my first cage match. I've never seen a cage match live before.
Me neither.
And so it was very fucking enjoyable. And seeing Phoenix climb to the top of that cage, it's surreal. It looks a little bit way more dangerous than on TV. I mean, like, holy shit, please don't fucking fall. And when he walked across the stage, walked across the cage holding nothing, that way you hear people around me like, hey, like, dude, one fucking slip and that's it, man.
Yeah, I love the way I love the cage too, and the size of the cage. It really looks intimidating.
Yes, it does.
Michelle Moran with a $10 super chat. This was my first AEW pay-per-view. I bought. Outstanding show. Loved the Punk Darby match. Glad Cole made the right choice. Boy, when I saw Bryan, I fell off my sofa. Wrestling is alive and well again. Fuck Vince McMahon and fuck WWE. Thank you, Michelle. I am very excited about Cole coming in It's one of my favorites right now. The Dud with a $2 super chat. I watch All Out while eating Magic Spoon cereal. Sounds like a good time, man. I love the cookies and cream. Cortland Moore with a $1.99 super chat. WWE's Shields brought every excuse out of the book last night. Shills, I guess. I don't know why he put a Shield logo there, but what excuses are there? Are Cole and Bryan turncoats? Give me a break.
Of course. Look, that's the rhetoric that Vince feels to the people backstage.
Yeah.
That if you leave and show up at the competition, then you're a traitor and you're a turncoat. And that's why we get so many fans that are AEW haters for absolutely no reason. I find it comparative to a certain politician, but yeah, if he comes out and says these just ignorant and just hateful things about someone for no reason, the ignorant followers will follow behind that and spew the very same shit. But if Vince came out and put AEW over, like, hey, I'm happy to see this upstart company. We welcome the competition. We would love to do some business with them to share some talent. We're happy to see the business grow. I bet you there will be a lot less AEW haters out there.
Bryan said it in the promo after the show was over, live in front of the audience, and then again at the post-show scrum, how much he loves and appreciates Vince McMahon, and there's absolutely no ill will there. He said the reason why he didn't go to WWE is because he wants to wrestle. He wants to help young talent. He wants to do what he wants to do. And he mentioned, I want to go to Japan. They were going to allow me to do things that were outside of WWE's comfort bubble. But he said, he said Vince McMahon is so overprotective of him that, you know, he pretty much insinuated that everything that Bryan wanted, he may have gotten. But, you know, Vince always questioned him on everything. He just wants to go.
Yeah, he didn't flat out come out all the way and it sounded like he basically insinuated that Vince was about to let him go work New Japan while under WWE contract.
Yeah. I mean, it's Daniel Bryan. I mean, if the man wants something for me to keep him, I'm going to give him whatever the fuck he wants. But Vince is so afraid of them going somewhere else and getting injured off of his watch. That's the problem.
I think there may have been another ulterior motive behind letting Bryan go work New Japan. Not that there's not anything wrong with that. If it gives him what he wants and the fans what they want, and he can benefit from it as well, then so be it. But doesn't that put a kind of a wrinkle in the working relationship between New Japan and AEW?
Yeah.
If Daniel Bryan's over there working too, so and it's in Vince's interest to say, hey, we're also doing that cool stuff too. But and if there was anybody he trusted to go over there and work and not mess anything up in Vince's eye, it would be Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
So I could see that, but even still, Bryan was smart. Bryan was smart enough to know that even if he did get that part of the deal that he wanted, he still had to come back and deal with everything else that involves not being a real pro wrestler. So.
LJBK827 with a $5 super chat. Watched history last night with my little cousin who never watched AEW before. He was in amazement. AEW's #1. I have no plans to watch WWE anymore.
Me either. I said that to JD before I left the Airbnb. I've already actively stopped watching Raw and NXT. I watched SmackDown for Roman and the Usos, which I do still love. I mean, I'm not like the happiest with the direction of the Roman story, but I don't hate it. I still love what Roman's doing. But it's about the rest of the show. I don't want to spend 2 hours watching the show where the booking is terrible with a bunch of rematches, and eventually they're going to bury my favorite wrestler. So why?
DV Acme with a $5 super chat. I came in to see your smug, sheet-eating grin as you call out these geeks who doubted you when you said Adam Cole was all elite. I mean, it was the only choice he had to make, man. It was the right choice. His career is now saved. I love Adam Cole. Can't wait to see what he does.
Yep.
The Dud $2 super chat. Jeff Hardy really needs AEW soon. He'll be there soon enough, man. He's got another year and a half, I believe. Michelle Moran with a $2 super chat. NBC and Fox are probably super pissed at Vince McMahon now. They've been pissed. Last night was just the fucking shit on top of the shit Sunday.
Yes. The whole weekend, as far as TV and entertainment goes, was all about pro wrestling, and none of it was in WWE's favor.
No.
So they're not happy about that.
No. Cortland Moore with a $1.99 super chat. Been a fan since 4/3/16. JD, I'm proud of you, bro. Thank you so much, man. Chemo the Therapist, $2 super chat. Danielson's ponytail is better than Brock Lesnar's.
Man bun.
Yep. He looks great. Sergeant Z with a $20 super chat. I lost my voice last night. By the end of the show, I wanted to talk to someone about it, but your opinion was the only one that mattered on YouTube. Your fans await. Bro, I had fucking 400 people waiting for me this morning before I even woke up.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I lost my voice. I just started getting my voice back after I got home and started eating. I was raspy all morning.
Bro, anybody wants to fucking doubt the power of what I do here, man? We had almost 4,000 people in here, 3,700 people in here, and it still ended up being the #1 show streamed anywhere about AEW. A day after it happened. Love it.
You guys are fucking great, man.
The Dud with a $2 super chat. JD, who's your most favorite Capcom character? I don't know, man. I don't really play Capcom games, but I was always a Ryu guy. My brother was a Ken guy. I was a Ryu guy. But I'll tell you what, I love the Kuma more than both of them.
Yeah.
Jacob Donnelly, what's up, brother? $10 super chat. Best pay-per-view I've seen in years. Wish I could have seen it live. AEW has brought back true professional wrestling. I couldn't be happier, man. I haven't been this happy about pro wrestling since the glory days of NXT, man. It's awesome.
It feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good.
You can tell people that you're a pro wrestling fan now. Oh, yeah. You watch that WWE stuff?
Yeah.
Nope. AEW. Wednesdays.
LJ with a $4 super chat. The goosebumps from that Daniel Bryan debut, man. Wow. Yes. Susan D'Ambrosio, $5 super chat. JD, I was so excited to see a pay-per-view with awesome pro wrestling. AEW knocked it out of the park last night. TK rules. TK is honing his own craft, man. It's a beautiful thing to see. Thank you, Susan. Captain Solo with a $10 super chat. AEW last night was the best $49.99 I spent all year and worth every penny. Adam Cole, baby. Can't wait for Raw to suck tonight. God bless JD. Thank you, Captain Solo. I will be here live tonight. So come back and join me, man. It's going to be a nice night of off the script. Man of 1,005 holds with a $15 super chat. Oh my God, what a pay-per-view. Surprises, swerves, various styles of wrestling. AEW killed it last night. Ruby, Suzuki, Cole, Danielson, thanks for the post-show stream, and you are our chief. 9 out of 10. That's a good point, man, of 1,000 holds. We got a steel cage tag team title match. We got Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, a battle royal, a great women's championship match, a career-ending match with Jericho. There was something for everybody on this show, bro. And if you didn't find one thing about it, and CM Punk, if you didn't like anything about this show or like something about this show, then I think you should just stop watching wrestling altogether. Biscuits with a Australia mate, $7.99. JD, would love to see Wyndham, Jonah Rock, Buddy Matthews in AEW, but who else would you bring into AEW that's not a wrestler like a ref or commentator? Tony Khan mentioned this last night. He can't bring in everybody, and they're only going to bring in people that they feel are going to move the needle. Buddy Matthews is great. I think he's a fucking fantastic pro wrestler. I think he would thrive better in Impact. Jonah Rock, he'd thrive in Impact, though. I'd love to see him on a major platform. I'd love to see him in AEW, so we'll see what happens. He can't wait to get back out there, but the one that's coming in next is Wyndham. That's going to be the needle mover right there.
Yep.
Lee Burtis with a $10 UK. What a roster TK has put together. Wyndham Rotunda would be the cherry on the cake. I feel privileged to have followed AEW from the start. Cheers to the great content, JD. I raise a beer to you. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate you, bro. I had many of them on Saturday night. I'm done with beer. Maybe the rest of the peanut butter whiskey later. That's about it for me. Hulu Grim with a $10 super chat. Best $50 I've ever spent. Holy shit, pro wrestling is fucking back. I'm surprised that YouTube allowed the fucking in there. Usually they blank it out, but there you go. What is going on? Tag team match was match of the night, probably the whole year. This show won't be topped. No, man. Best show of the year, and that's Steel Cage match is definitely the match of the year so far.
I hope it is topped, and I think it's a possibility it could be topped. The next pay-per-view, look at the talent that we have to work with now for the full gear.
Oh, but I would wait to bring them in. No.
Yeah.
Clint Balderston with a Australia mate $10 super chat. Was an amazing pay-per-view. Got chills seeing everyone do the bay with Adam Cole. Such a sick thing to see. Yes, it reminded me of his initial NXT debut.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to take his career to the next level. Jeffrey Lyons with a $1.99 super chat. All Out 21 might be our modern day WrestleMania 17. I could see the parallels there, man. This was bigger than WrestleMania this year. No question. Yeah. Mr. Premium, $4.99 super chat. Haven't felt that excited in regards to pro wrestling in a while. Along with Punk coming back, love it. Colin Hutton becomes a new member. Thank you, brother. What are you drinking in the venue? Nathan Smith with a Canadian $10 super chat to the excellence of execution in the IWC. I hope you had an incredible night. That crowd sounded hot. It was hot all night, man. So were the fucking lines. I couldn't even get an ice cream bar.
You never got one, did you? Yeah, people were asking, did we get... No. I didn't get one last night because I already got one at the United Center.
No, I didn't get one.
And like I said, there's nothing spectacular. It's just vanilla ice cream with chocolate coating. And
after I seen Sap eating one, I'm glad I didn't. He complained to the guy sitting next to him, $8 for what looked to be nothing as big as this mouse.
No, it was $8. Yeah. $8 fucking dollars, man.
No,
jeez.
FC with a $10 super chat from the scrum last night. Ruby had the most passionate, genuine, emotional. Every year is being held back. A breath of fresh air for her. I hope she gets gold soon. I don't know if she'll beat Britt, but if they hold off on it, I could see it. We'll see what happens. Focus on your focus with a $4.99 super chat. All Out was freaking epic. Hats off to you, JD. We're all elite, baby. Rest in peace, WWE. I don't know if it's rest in peace, WWE. Maybe creatively, they're making more money now than ever before. That's all they give a shit about. Montreal Rather with $3 super chat. AEW making wrestling great again. It was great. It's even better now with them being in it. Yoko Eli with a $19.99 super chat. Love the show. My only nitpick was that if Adam Cole is a heel, he won't have enough credible mid-card babyfaces to feud with until he takes the world title off of Hangman or Danielson. But what do you think? He doesn't have enough mid-card babyface. What are you talking about?
Who said that?
Sammy Guevara's not a good mid-card babyface? Jungle Boy's not a good mid-card babyface?
Jungle Boy? What? Oh,
Adam Cole couldn't bring a great match out of a fucking mannequin that's standing in a store window. I mean, this guy could wrestle fucking anybody.
Orange Cassidy?
Yeah. Come on, man. Just give me Cole in a ring with somebody. I don't give a shit who it is. Could be the guy fucking standing in the front row dressed as Jesus Christ. I don't give a shit.
Doesn't matter. It could be Frank the fucking Clown.
Yeah.
Bro.
$50 super chat from Please Behave. Thank you, brother. Perfect show. Only thing I didn't like is Brian's new theme. Not good. It's got to grow on me, man. I want the final countdown. Hopefully that is in the works there by Mr. Tony Khan. Legit Man with a Australia $2 super chat, mate. One word about the pay-per-view. Undisputed. Yeah, that's dead. Long are the undisputed days. Long gone are the undisputed days, man. Great faction now buried. Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. Mama effing Mia, Brian, Suzuki, Ruby, Adam Cole, baby, Malachi Black, Vignette as well. The rules have just changed. 10 out of 10 show from AEW. Excellent show, Mr. Cake. Excellent. Deante McCombs with a $10 super chat. CM Punk, Ruby Soul, Minoru Suzuki. Even if it's for one match. Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson. I said September was going to be a party, but I take that back. September is going to be a freaking Woodstock. With that roster, man, it's going to be Woodstock every fucking week.
Oh yeah, Adam Cole was on BTE today too.
Yeah, I have to watch that later.
Yeah, I just only get through the cold open before we had to go live, but he was on the cold open.
Vashanti with a $5 super chat. AEW making new additions. Fall back in love with wrestling again. That's a beautiful thing to see. A locker room that is genuinely in love with wrestling. Because they have a genuine leader who genuinely loves pro wrestling. In Tony Khan. Yokno Eli with a $4.99 super chat. Also, when is someone besides Moxley going to walk through the Forbidden Door? I'd love to see Andrade versus Ospreay. Give it time, man. Give it time. The Forbidden Door is going to be there. Nobody's going away because they all realize what AEW means to them. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. My only nitpick was that they buried Sheeta. Milk cart. Sheeta's fine. She was champion for a year, bro. What do you want her to do? This is not WWE where she drops the title after a year and then is back in title contention after fucking 4 weeks because they got no women. Jazz with a $20 UK for Jesse. Have a drink on us. From the UK Goons, a great mind and analysis. Keep it up, boys. Thank you, Jazz. You've been a beast all day with the super chats, man. Frank Sand with a $5 super chat. Would you rather give Ryan Satin a one-winged angel through a flaming table or a black mass onto a sea of thumbtacks? Go Ninja, go, he says.
Don't answer that. They'll clip it and send it to him as a threat. Don't answer that.
All right, I'm going to listen to you. Fuck Ryan Satin is all I got to say.
There you go. See?
Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. At this point, Tony Khan is Thanos, collecting the greatest pro wrestlers on the planet like Infinity Stones. Bray is next. Great times we're living in. I did make a thumbnail back in there, or Sal Rex did anyway, about Tony Khan being Thanos, and that's exactly what he is.
Disagree. I think Vince McMahon is Thanos, and he fucking wiped out the love of wrestling from half the industry.
Well, you could do that too. New Jack with a $10 super chat. It's great to see AEW become a viable alternative. They're making us, as wrestling fans, feel like we matter. It's crazy what you can do when you shoot to please your fans. I know, man. It's amazing, ain't it? Give the fans what they want, and they'll come.
Yeah.
Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Brody Lee saved wrestling. No, Brody Lee's influence is powerful because of a great man that he was. And now everybody's seeing how exactly AEW's family-oriented values matter in the world of pro wrestling. That's what attracted a lot of these people to come. And, you know, if they continue staying the way that they are now, it will attract even more.
I think he was a huge catalyst.
Yeah.
I think his passing was one of the most tragic things I've ever felt in all of pro wrestling. But if I had to pick a silver lining out of it, it was what our response to it was and how it attracted the rest of the superstars we have now.
Frank San with a Canadian $2 super chat. Jesse, fix your blinds. They're uneven.
God damn this guy with my blinds.
He'll get right on that, Frank. Thank you so much, man. You want to go clean his house while you're at it?
Oh, please do. I got to do that today, too. Oh, man.
Drew Gilmore with a $5 super chat. What's up, buddy? Hey, JD and Jesse. Sorry I couldn't make it to All Out. Funds were a bit low. Amazing show, though. New girlfriend even loved it. 11 out of 10. Glad you enjoyed it, man. Glad she is now watching as well. That's awesome.
Congratulations on having a new girlfriend.
Hooligan with a $5 super chat. Ratings don't even matter now. AEW took all the momentum from WWE, and Tony Khan walked up to Vince and said, hold my fucking beer. People will flock to AEW.
I don't care if the rating is a 2.
Nope.
Point.
Now, they even asked Brian that in the scrum. Like, with you being here, you think the ratings are going to shift in the direction of AEW now, so more so to, you know, combating the main roster. And then Brian looked at Tony Khan and said, well, I'm going to let this guy handle all that shit. I'm just here to fucking beat people up. That's all he gives a shit about.
My job is to fucking wrestle. Yeah. He handles the business.
Yep, that's exactly what he said.
So, that's it.
Peace Leaf, Fresh Peace Leaf with a $20 super chat. You guys sound wiped. It was a show of the ages for sure, though. Do we eventually get a pay-per-view at TII Stadium? Yes, we do. And it's going to be headlined by Punk and Bryan. Did we sound wiped? I thought we sounded good. I don't know.
I feel wiped.
I feel wiped.
You sound like you have way more energy than you should.
Well, I mean, I had a Starbucks 2-time caffeine coffee before I went live, so I'm good.
I had cranberry juice right here, man. That's it.
J Ray with a $5 super chat. The PG rating has made the WWE product just for kids and drunk casuals. Bro, you can still book a good product with PG. You don't need a fucking M rating or 14 rating to book a good wrestling show. NXT did it.
Yeah.
NXT was the best product in the fucking world before AEW showed up. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Bray is probably coming to AEW for the same reason. Of course he is.
Mm-hmm.
The Overgiver with a Canadian $10 super chat. Pro wrestling is back. Yes, it is. Zach JD with a $4.99 super chat. JD versus the Spider for Full Gear. Jesse is banned from ringside. J Ray with a $10 super chat. JD and Jesse last night was incredible. AEW truly went all out. 3 major debuts all in one night with Cole, Soho, and Bryan Danielson. That makes TK a freaking beast. AEW's on fire right now. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. The Spider lasted longer than Bianca Belair. Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. And the Spider is more over than Bianca Belair as well. Peter Note, $5 super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of theme music. That Lucha Brothers entrance was so hyped. Watched it 4 times and throwing up random, whatever Pentagon does. No fear. Listen,
middle.
Yeah, Mikey Ruckus did the intro, man. Mikey Ruckus, shout out to him. I don't know if he listens to the show or not, but I know he's following me on Twitter. Excellent fucking musician, man, and he gets it. All of AEW's themes are identifiable, and you know who they are for, and everything sounds different. And I love it. It's what WWE used to do when they cared about theme music, and they no longer, because everybody's theme music there fucking sucks.
I had no idea who the Latino rapper was. I thought they wouldn't get Bad Fucking Bunny.
No, that was Mikey Ruckus, bro.
No. Mikey Ruckus was the first one that came out. Yeah. Who was the rapper?
Oh, I don't know. Some Mexican guy, probably. Someone very, very popular down in Mexico, I'm sure.
I thought it was Bad Bunny.
Forget about it. Vince would have a heart attack.
Oh, and he would have been so mad. They got Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
He would have been angry. Like, now they're going to win because they have Bad Bunny. Like, whatever.
Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. Triple H is having a jack with the ghost of Lemmy right now after watching Adam Cole's debut last night. Listen, I mean, I feel bad for Triple H. He put 4 years of resources into Adam Cole only for Vince McMahon to say, no, you're not playing any video games on Twitch. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Yeah. If I'm Triple H, I'm not showing up to the McMahon household for the holidays.
Yeah, in that defense, though, there was no way. They could have gave Cole his fucking Twitch, and he wasn't staying, dude. He was over in AEW. His best friend, his fiance. I mean, wrestling. Why would he stay?
I don't know. I have no idea. Jay Wright, $10 super chat. JD and Jesse, WWE seriously has to respond now after this incredible pay-per-view that All Out was from AEW. What do you guys think WWE can do now in order to gain momentum going forward from all this? Nothing. They will do nothing, and they can do nothing to get me excited. They've already blew their load with Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar and fucked up Lynch. The Lesnar match is happening in Saudi. Should be fine as far as Roman storytelling is concerned, but there's nothing that's going to generate interest there. Nothing.
Yeah, that was awesome. So they debuted Punk, and then, Vince came back on, fine, we'll come back with Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
All right. Well, now we have Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho. Now what?
Yep.
Now what?
Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. Dynamics in wrestling are great. Punk, Darby, Sammy Jericho, Bryan Jungle Boy. We need Bray Hangman. Bray's lineage clears things up. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. I think Tessa and Wyatt completes this AEW roster. Tessa, maybe. Wyatt, he'll be there.
Yeah.
Hula Grim, $5 super chat. John Moxley is the MVP of AEW. Nobody right now is doing more with less. Some epic talent and match possibilities will transpire with New Japan because of him. Bro, we're getting that Tanahashi match, and I don't think Tanahashi's the biggest name they're going to be getting in AEW. I do think at some point we see Okada and Ibushi.
Yes.
Jay Ray with a $10 super chat. JD and Jesse, just a reminder that it was damn near 3 years ago when Vince, Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H stood in the ring and promised they would change. Will that change definitely start now? No. No, it's not going to start now. Stephen Vandelli with a $99 super chat. I have been a fan of this sort of entertainment for 35 years, and I can honestly say that after 22 years when WWE went public, that professional wrestling is back. I'll see you in a few weeks in Queens, my brother. Oh man. Vandelli's going to be in Queens. Uh-oh.
Him and Abaddon.
We're going to get something together, man. We're going to get a meet and greet, I think, with Matt Men, and Issa wants to be a part of it, too. I just literally got filled in before I hit live on here, so I gotta update people on what's going on. Maybe. We'll see what's going on. But Vandelli, thank you so much, brother. Glad you enjoyed the show, and I can't wait to see you. Jazz with a 100 in UK super chat. I'll second that. Thank you so much, Jazz. Means a lot. Undead Dragon with a $5 super chat. Who would have thought a year ago that Becky Lynchburg's return would be overshadowed by crappy booking and AEW?
Yeah, I wouldn't have voted against that if that was one of the multiple choice. Would WWE ruin Becky Lynch's return? It's a very strong.
They ruin everything.
Possibility. Yeah.
They breathe and they fucking ruin things. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who's this? Raz Bob with a $5 UK super chat. Your thoughts on the rumors of Malachi Black to lead a House of Black stable and wants Butcher and Blade to abandon, or Butcher and Blade and Abaddon in it? I think it would be great. I don't know where you heard this rumor, but I think Black should be rogue, man.
Yeah, Black stays by himself.
Yeah. No. Everyone has to pay the boatman's toll. I love it.
Yeah.
Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. The Young Bucks are greater than the Usos. I would say, I love the Usos. They're the best tag team in the WWE, one of the best tag teams on the planet, but I do think that they're in the top 5. I don't think they're number 1 anymore.
Yeah, look, I love the Usos, and I love the Bucks, obviously, and I'm riding this wave right now, this high wave of AEW, but I'm not blinded.
No.
I love the Usos, and I don't think the Bucks are better than the Usos. I mean, they're being booked and they're doing better things than the Usos right now. But I think if you put the Usos on a level playing field, like put them in AEW, I would still say the Usos was a better tag team. And it's not a slight on the Bucks. Like, the Usos are great to me.
I think we're looking at Bucks, Lucha Brothers, Proud and Powerful, Usos.
Yeah,
that's just from what I know. I mean, I'm leaving out the Briscoes. I mean, you can put them wherever you want.
Briscoes are fucking awesome, man. Love them.
CC Steven with a $20 super chat. Hi, JD and Jesse. I want both of you to take a moment to take this in. You two, especially JD, were the only ones in the IWC to talk about the fall of NXT and the rise of AEW, and you took heat for it, and it's coming true.
We did.
Bro, I've been mentioning this for the last 5 years. I mean, nobody listens to me. Jesse and I used to watch NXT religiously at 1 hour, man. It was the best 1 hour of the week.
Yeah.
And you could have watched that show and saw what happened.
Yeah, it's not a prediction that anyone wished to come to fruition. It's just that I see the way things are going, and Vince is never going to change the way he does things. So that's how it's going to end up eventually.
Antonio Polato with a $50 super chat. Hey guys, how are you doing? Huge fan from Brazil. With the debut of Daniel and Adam on All Out, what do you guys think that AEW will bring to the table on Grand Slam? I don't know, man. We may see Kenny Omega lose the championship. We may see Proud and Powerful win the tag team championships. Bryan is definitely wrestling on that show. I mean, bro, at this point, you know, again, I said it with everybody with Punk booking his fucking return and who he's going to wrestle and all this other shit and who Bryan's coming back for. Put Cole and Bryan on the card. I don't care. Just give me them in a ring wrestling. Could be against anybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be against anybody. A Grand Slam's going to be a major, major deal. Peter Note with a $5 super chat. Nick, the genetic heartbreaker Jackson. Sean's hair and Steiner's goatee. Priceless. Nick was also Bryan's first victim. Bryan was beating that man. Bryan gave that running knee, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Indigo with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD and Jesse, on my way to a party, so I can't stay for the stream, but I wanted to say hi. All Out is the pay-per-view of the year. AEW is our home. You know it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Trizzle with a $5 super chat. So hyped for my boys, the Lucha Brothers, winning the tag team championship match of the night and maybe a year. Cero Miedo.
It's so heartwarming.
We got Sting, 29J with a $10 super chat. Pay-per-view of the year, just to think a few years ago. WWE had what AEW has today and they ruined it. A person with a bad heart should not watch this pay-per-view because it was epic. $1.99, King Mo. I love this show. OTS #1. Much love, brothers. Thank you, King Mo. Appreciate you, bro. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. JD, be sure to hide from Vandelli this week. Prodigy RKO with a $50 super chat. Much love to the both of you gentlemen. Just a bit of a thank you for the glorious work you guys do. What do you guys think about the next few weeks of Dynamite, starting with Cincy, then Jersey? Any ideas on WWE's next move? They're going to put everybody to sleep. Meanwhile, they sold out New Jersey at AEW. Cincy's going to be sold out. We're getting Suzuki versus Moxley. And then we got Grand Slam. So it's going to be an incredible month of Dynamite, man. For the kind of lame duck shows that we got, the setup shows, I think Tony Khan's going to fucking be doing 180 miles an hour down the highway, man. Going to be killing it.
Dynamite is right now at this point must-watch TV.
Yeah.
Must.
Who else do we got here? We got Mr. Cake says $5 super chat. Liv Morgan, Dakota Kai, Tegan Knox, the Iconics all cheering for Ruby Solo on Twitter when she showed up. Of course they did. That's how important. That's how important. Yeah, now they get fired. That's how important she was to the locker room. She was loved by everybody.
Kevin Owens had to low-key crypt tweet about it too.
What did he say?
So it's something about, you know, when you're happy, and I'm gonna read it verbatim because I don't wanna, because it was actually pretty good. Hold on, I got it right here. Kevin Owens said, "It's awesome when good things happen to good people, but it's even better when good things happen to great people."
Oh yeah, I seen that last night. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
We got Ghetto Churs with a $4.99 super chat. Happened to catch Sky Blue versus Red Velvet on Dark. What a match. This Sky Blue looks like she can really go. Highly recommend you guys check it out. I gotta check
her out. I didn't see anything about her. I didn't see her. I missed a lot of her. I gotta go check her out.
Yeah, I don't have no idea. I have to check her out. Kent Foot. Well, a $4.99 Super Chat reporter. Vince, how do you plan on combating AEW? Vince, Legends Night. Yeah. Goodbye. Me Wilson with a $50 Super Chat. This was the best pay-per-view I've ever seen. My dad was watching it as well. He loved it. Best match was the Steel Cage match. Worst match was Paul Wight versus QT. JD would love to meet if AEW comes to Vegas. Let me know if you're doing a meet and greet. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. If Double or Nothing comes to Vegas next year, we may actually make the trip out there. DV Acme with a $5 Super Chat. Danielson said that he was well treated by WWE and that he has a great relationship with Vince, yet he still signed with AEW. Huge indictment of WWE.
Yeah, keep one thing in mind. Daniel Bryan was protected and he was untouchable and all the above, and he still deemed it necessary to leave. Yep. But that is why he is saying things like he has no problem with WWE and no problems with where he worked, because he's right. They did treat him like royalty. But not everyone got treated the way that Daniel Bryan got treated by Vince McMahon.
Matt C with a $4.99 Super Chat. Birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, brother. All Out was a gift to me. Would you have AEW six-man tag team championships or AEW women's tag team championships? Love you guys. Absolutely the trios championships. Tag team championships are a failure. You don't need them. Willie Martin with a $5 Super Chat. Omega, Cole, Bucks versus Punk, Danielson. Jurassic Express in the next Blood and Guts. Book it. Take my effing money. Bro, if they're doing that, man, Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's the plan, but you get me excited about that one. And Cole knows a thing or two about war games, I'll tell you that.
Okay, American Dragon, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho. T-shirts are all up on the shop.
Adam Cole, I gotta get me an Adam Cole t-shirt now.
So,
Smelly Wrestling Geek with a $5 Super Chat. AEW has absolutely nailed their debuts of Black, Punk, Cole, and Bryan. I can't wait to see how they book these guys. Same here, man. Jedi Jericho with a $20 Super Chat. Sorry I'm late. I'll go back and watch the review, but I just wanted to say that All Out was fan-fucking-tastic. Cole and Danielson had me jumping out of my chair. The cage match was probably my match of the year. You and I both, brother. Jesse as well.
Yeah.
64 Pan Q with a $1.99 Super Chat. I'm JD, motherfucker. Know the name. JD is the OTS, or is the OTS champion. Yeah, fuck, I don't know. Whatever. Fuck Ryan Satin. Nick Houseman, he's a geek, man. Oh. Yeah, bitch. Lord with a $5 Super Chat. What's up, brother? I went to sleep with literal tears of joy last night, even though having my surgery was in some pain. Forget that pain. Give me pro wrestling. Bro, I still got to promote your GoFundMe, man. I'm going to do that as soon as I get back on Wednesday. Ryan Awesome with a $4.99 Super Chat. Nights like All Out is why I love pro wrestling. I cannot wait for Dynamite and what's next for Cole, Punk, Bryan, and Soho. Julian with a $2 Super Chat. Dana White acknowledged AEW and Khan. That's big. Uh-oh.
Well, Tony Khan mentioned them, and I guess he mentioned them back. So.
Salty Skipper with a $4.99 Super Chat. Thank you, Salty Skipper. Converted a friend of mine into AEW fan last night. My AEW evangelism is working. Keep spreading the good word, man. Daniel Easterday with a $2 Super Chat. First AEW pay-per-view. Loved it. Won't be my last. Of course it won't be. I just fucking clicked. Oh, god damn it. I hate working on laptops, man. Where am I now? Who was... Oh, there you go. Okay, Kal-El, $5 Super Chat. My first pay-per-view in years. And won't be my last. And JD, I've enjoyed watching your growth over the years. You and Jesse are definitely big deals. I appreciate that, Kal-El.
Thank you.
Kern Cluck with a $1.99 Super Chat. Punk was calling the match. You could see it on TV. Linda Carter with a $5 Super Chat. WWE's shit is officially pushed in. By the way, do you hear that NXT UK has been dissolved? That's a false rumor. It's nothing to truth. Nothing about that is true at all. Ricochet $1.99. Danielson looks like the coolest motherfucker on earth. He does. He looked very happy yesterday. Guardian of Chaos with a $9.99 super chat. JD and Jesse, appreciate you guys. You're in my home as much as I am laughing my ass off. Fair, firm, and consistent. Thank you, Guardian. Always good to see you, brother.
Awesome. Thank you.
Silent One with a $2 super chat. OTS for life. Shout out to the chat. Tiger Boy Beast with a $4.99 super chat. AEW Shang Tsung'd NXT. Yes, they did. And they're Shang Tsunging WWE main roster as well. Atoda, I'm sorry, Jesse, what?
How come nobody asked Punk about April coming in? You know, someone asked Bryan about
I think he mentioned
wife.
it somewhere. I think he mentioned it somewhere. He said that he'd like to see April, but she's not coming in because she's got neck issues.
Still having the neck issues. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Atoda Madre with a $20 super chat. Booker T is about to say Soho, Cole, and Danielson's debut were missed opportunities. Fuck Booker T, man. What an idiot.
Yeah, whatever, guy.
Jonathan Gastello with a $9.99 super chat. WWE, who? As far as I'm concerned, these next 2 days are rest days for the hangover of awesomeness that was AEW All Out. Best $50 I spent. Can't wait to show my father this pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that, man. Best $50 they've ever spent. It's great to spend money on something that you know you're going to get a quality product from, huh?
Yep.
Dane with a $4.99 super chat. The WWE Get Off My TV shirts need to be in the works, JD. Been watching since 35K. Maybe, man. Depends on who it is. I got another one.
You know, I don't have a reason to hate on anybody in WWE anymore. Because I'm going to do what they told me. I'm going to go watch something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Desmond Dukes with a $10 super chat. The only thing missing now besides Wyndham is the moral at the commentary booth.
Moro.
Oh, Moro. Yeah, he put moral. Moro. Yes. Moro. I'd love Moro there. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's a pipe dream at this point.
Yeah.
Ernie Vasquez with a $1.99 super chat. Is Wyatt our next TK surprise? Dark Order bound. Yes. Now, Dark Order bound, who knows? But just get him in there. Benjamin with a $4.99 super chat. What's up, JD and Jesse? AW and Tony did it again. When's House of Glory events returning? Will there be a TV series with Hog? House of Glory is returning in November. That's all I can say right now. Zen Bra with a $5 Brazilian super chat. Thank you, brother. Minoru Suzuki. Creator versus, who's this? Minoru Suzuki. Pancrases creator versus John Moxley. Take my money. 2 madmen in the ring. Should be great on Wednesday, man. I'm looking forward to it. Coil Phoenix with a $5 super chat. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm still feeling the high from last night and honestly don't want to come down. Coil, I'm feeling it. Jesse's feeling it. These shows are draining but fucking incredible at the same time. It's awesome. John Hash with a $5 super chat. Imagine Triple H joining Tony Khan and AEW to combat Vince and the WWE. The landscape of pro wrestling would be forever changed. That's never going to happen.
No, it's already changed.
Yeah. Cal L with a $5 super chat. I'm so over WWE. Nothing against you, JD, but I'm so over Raw. I may stop watching the Raw review because it's so repetitive weekly. Mustangs rule. Sorry to hear that, Cal L. I'll try to make it as entertaining as possible.
Never that. I'm done watching Raw and SmackDown, but I will be right here laughing along with JD.
Jericho, 2-time with a $50 super chat. I now see WWE talent as developmental talent for AEW. The winds of change that are right in front of us now are a beautiful thing to see. Great pay-per-view last night. Great stream today. Happy to be a fan of wrestling right now. Thank you, brother. It's a lot of money. Jericho, thank you, man. Justin Striplin with a $9.99 super chat. Epic pay-per-view last night and way better than SummerSlam or SummerScam. Only match that didn't belong on the pay-per-view was Paul Wight versus QT Marshall. Everything else was amazing. You need to come down at a bathroom break, bro. That's exactly what they provided.
You need to come down. I think they used the Women's Battle Royal for that reason as well.
Yep.
But I think they knew it was going to be a long one, and nobody was really interested in anything but the Joker card. So you had time to come down and get back in time for the end of the match.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We got one from D Moon. Cole and Danielson got me more hyped than Punk, to be honest. Keep up the great work, brother. Thank you, D Moon. Appreciate you, man, with the $4.99.
Nothing wrong with that.
Justin Striplin with the $4.99. With the appearance of CM Punk, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, Minoru Suzuki, and Ruby Soho last night, I feel AEW buried the hell out of WWE. Ben with a 199 super chat. Should we all care about WWE after watching this? That is up to you. I got to still cover it, unfortunately.
Yep.
Cal L with a $5 super chat. Do you think Triple H watched and enjoyed the pay-per-view last night, or is AEW still not competition in his eyes? I think at some point Triple H is genuinely happy for someone like Adam Cole because he knows how his father-in-law is. There's nothing he can do about it. Might as well just go and be successful somewhere else.
Yeah.
Coil Phoenix with a $5 super chat. AEW mixed tag team idea, hopefully somewhere down the road. Cole Baker versus Punk Lee. Please take my money.
Kind of cheesy, but it'd be awesome to see.
Yeah. Double D with a Canadian $5 super chat. You guys rock. Thanks for the afternoon Labor Day hangout. Imagine heel Roman Reigns booked in AEW. He would be above God status. Love the show.
I think if Roman came to AEW, I think he would be one of the, like, probably the first guy to ever come over. And you would have to bring his momentum down a little bit, because if you kept him booked in the same God tier that he's booked in WWE, you bury a lot of your top tier guys in AEW right now.
Yeah. Cal L with a $5 super chat. Tell him I'm JD, bitch. Hold my drink, bitch. And Mustangs rule, bitch. Yes. Yes, I would love to have said that, but I'm amongst AEW personnel. I can't be a moron. But thank you, Cal.
How did you live stream the conference afterward, the scrum, and they asked not to?
Everybody did it. They didn't care.
They didn't care. Right.
And Bill Cosby, this is the last one before I got to go take a massive piss. And I got to go and have some fucking lunch and play mini golf. Bill Cosby, $2 super chat. AEW warmed my heart. Yes, it did. It warmed all of our hearts. Cal L with another $5 super chat. You're right, Jesse. What I was thinking. I'm not going anywhere. Mustangs rule, and I'll see you tonight.
There we go.
There you go, brother. Appreciate you. Guys, thank you so very much for everything. We had almost 3,800 in the venue tonight, or this afternoon. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your days. Jesse and I are going to relax. I got to watch Raw later, so at some point I'll be half asleep, but I'll be here live tonight. Jesse, any more parting words before I let you go and relax today and I go do what I got to do?
No, sir. I said it all early, and I stick to it. I am humbled, and I appreciate everyone here.
Guys, I appreciate you very much. Let's go over this real quick. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Go follow Jesse on Twitter as well. You see his ad on the screen right there. Go check all the videos out that you might have missed this weekend. Episode 389 is up. Go check it out. Nice little rant on Bruce and Vince running NXT and why the journalists are lying to you. Triple H is not in charge. He's not in charge, especially on Tuesday night. He may be in charge on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, but no, he's not in charge of NXT. And go check out the other live streams that you might have missed, man. The Scrum is there. Go check that out. Hit the subscribe button. 127,000 has been reached. I appreciate you guys very much. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys want to go check out the merchandise, Bonfire is the place. Right underneath the video player, bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Off the Script. And make sure you guys go check out one of the many sponsors we have in the OTS family. Everything you need is linked in the description below. I appreciate Chicago. I appreciate you guys showing me love. We're not done. Monday Night Raw tonight. I'll see you guys back in the venue. But until then, man, I'm taking my cold beverage. It's a beautiful day here in Schaumburg. I'm getting in the Mustang. And Jesse and I are hitting the highway, man. 2 things I need from you. Number 1, give me those guitar emojis in the chat. And number 2, when that guitar solo comes on, I need you to give me the music. I need that music on max, man. Partying up all weekend Labor Day. I'll see you guys back here in the venue for Monday Night Raw. Until then, take care, guys.